Good morning, everybody. Nobody? Hey, there's a viewer.
Ow.
It's probably just me watching the stream. Anyway, how's everybody doing? We are heading out on our day 2 of 2 to Rodeo, New Mexico. What's up?
The blinds are up. Emma's staring out the window.
I'll get it.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we do not need a sick kitty when it could be prevented. Meow, meow. Come on. Come on, you can do it.
All right. All my status is back in place. And away we go.
Off like a dirty shirt.
Oh, I didn't do the auto zoom thing on the map. Damn it.
You can get it next time.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-10 East.
Oh. Huh.
A Lamborghini as part of a mural tribute to America. That's just observations.
Yeah. Maybe it's a transport vehicle and it's Lamborghinis of America. And like in Rain Man where they...
Nothing coming right.
Nope. It was a fairly quiet rest area, except for around 2 o'clock. Probably a dozen or more sirens, individual sets of them went by. And I don't know what happened, but it could not have been good.
We had a little black car pulled in beside us over in the truck parking. Since we parked over right next to the curb, I thought I was close enough that no one was going to get in there, but he fit in just fine and evidently stayed there all night. When I got up this morning and did my walkabout, he waved at me and thanked me for the cover and not bothering him.
Yep. Well, we all got to sleep.
Yep.
And rest areas are notorious for having really good, well, most of them are really good lighting. So it's hard to sleep when you got...
And it shielded him from the noise as well, from the idling trucks. Although, oh, there's a hang glider over there. You see him?
Yep.
He may or may not come through on the stream.
I think it's more of a parachute, not a actual airplane style glider.
Well, no, it's right. It's
windsurfing? No, that's on the water.
Ah, hell, I don't know. Whatever it's called.
Paragliding? Yeah, paragliding, because parachute, paragliding.
That sounds better.
And so we're not making any stops until Wilcox, Arizona, which is...
And we've not fueled up on this trip.
No.
So far.
Oh, I got you. Come here.
I got it.
Okay. Gotta get those nails trimmed, baby girl. If you weren't so spastic about it. Come on. Come on, Nims. You too. Everybody has room. Come on. It's okay. Come on. There you go. And lay down. Oh, man. Stop rubbing up against the microphone, genius.
What's up?
Fiona, she was nuzzling the microphone.
Ah.
It is a bit warm this morning.
Yeah, we'll get some air moving here. Oh, I left the ACs on.
I tried to order that stuff from Etsy, but watch, Michael.
Thank you.
apparently how you have the internet routed through, it says too many connection attempts.
Hmm.
So, I have to wait.
Got the bath opened up now. And back to normal.
I got my lap buddies. I think they only ever snuggle like this when they're vying for the same spot and they're being stubborn. It's not like a choice.
No, it's not. It's mostly Emma wants to be there, but Fiona's already there.
I'll let Mom know.
Okay. So it says we'll be at Wilcox by 11:30. 2 hours 11 minutes from now. We'll fuel up and then head on into Rodeo. So I think we're just coming into Casa Grande at this point. That general area.
I think this is more of the Eloy area, but I could be wrong. I have a hard time it's Pikachu, conceptualizing the actual sprawl of Phoenix. To me, everything from Pikachu up to Wickenburg is Phoenix.
Right.
I can't.
No, it's pretty accurate. I mean, it all has different names depending on which section, but
yeah, it's like Chicago or Hampton Roads. Like it's just Hampton Roads instead of 7 cities. Tidewater, I think, is another name it goes by.
Yeah, Tidewater area. Yeah.
I think really the only part that I miss about that part of the country was the abundance of dragonflies. Because, I mean, it was a pain to get anywhere. Like, it wasn't an easy pop right over.
No.
Oh, and the German restaurant in Portsmouth.
Yeah, that was tasty.
Yeah. Friends notwithstanding. I mean, Friends is obvious. But
Right.
Mirabella's.
Air conditioner's working good this morning.
Yeah.
That was another thing that failed on the trip from New York to Las Vegas. The
But
dash
thankfully
AC.
not till Utah.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you can say thankfully. That's when we really started needing it. But yeah. Through some troubleshooting with Tiffin support, figured out that it was the relay under the dash, which meant I had to take apart the whole lower section of the dash to get to it, but it was only a $15 relay.
Yeah.
At
Instead
Napa.
of, what was it, $190 an hour for labor.
Right, yeah.
And we'd have to pull in all the slides and take the animals in the car. And
Yeah, we had it scheduled for service at National Indoor RV Center, NIRVC, yeah, in northern Las Vegas. But the day before, I called Tiffin to talk about where the what sensors were that I thought was likely the problem, and he talked me through some troubleshooting and checking a few things, and turns out it wasn't the sensor, which is good because I was able to just swap it out and be done. I thought it was the high or low sensor on the coolant lines, the R134A refrigerant lines. And in order to replace those, you have to evacuate all the refrigerant, swap them out, and then refill the refrigerant. And I don't have vacuum pump to do that, so Is that supposed to be like a lunar module or something, or is it just some random chunk of metal? Oh, random chunk of metal.
Random chunk of metal.
Maybe it's a feed thing on the other end, open?
I don't know. There for a brief moment, you could see a flickering of one of the observatories up there on the top
cool.
of the hill, just a glimmer. Ron's watching.
Hey, good morning, Ron.
He doesn't have chat ability, and he's got the grandkids over, so I said we'd wave.
Okay. Hi, Ron.
Those are other friends, Lynn and Ron, that we keep, like, we go back east to see the people that we know and love on the coast. And then fibro hits and, oh, gotta go. So, sorry about that, y'all. So I'm pretty excited. I found 2 southern barbecue places, one in Deming and one up by Silver City.
Nice.
And they have brisket, pulled pork, and North Carolina barbecue sauce. So
Very good.
I may be bringing home lunch after a grocery pickup.
Yep.
What was the name of that barbecue place in Cary?
Oh, good question.
It was right across the street from like the Big Lots shopping center there at the right.
Part of me wants to say something like just barbecue pit, but I don't think that was, I think there was more to it. That sign said something about high Tucson, but we're not even that close to Tucson yet.
You're about an hour away.
Yeah. I mean, we're closer as part of being Phoenix than we are Tucson.
I think once we get
Fred.
to Pikachu, it's half and half from Pikachu to get to here, Pikachu to get to Tucson.
Okay.
Because when we stayed there, I think I did like groceries one time this way and groceries one time that way.
Can you read Fred's?
Hey guys, good to see you on the road. Last time was not so good, Indiana. Hope to see you two moving down the road. Yeah, we're still a little triggered by Indiana. It's like,
Yeah. Well, things are going a lot better at this point.
Yes.
The rebuilt gearbox is doing very well. We see the engine running in the normal temperature ranges. Got the dash AC fixed.
Yeah, I think my panic level would have stayed at a moderate even, except for the breakdown at the interchange during rush hour. Like, all I could visualize was getting plowed through by a semi or something, and it was just literally terrifying. So, but we made it. We survived.
Yep. Police escort and all.
Yep.
Just very thankful that there was a machine shop whose owner had a heart of gold and
Yes.
was more than
We need to
happy
put a
help.
review on Google for that.
Yes,
and
yes we do. Maybe send them a box of chocolates and
Yeah. Well, they're in Indiana, and weed is legal in Indiana for one of the dispensaries.
I was thinking oh,
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. He can't help it. He can't help it.
what the hell? Okay. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that it was.
Yeah. I didn't really, because his profile is so high.
Yeah, I couldn't see beyond him.
He kind of went a little bit. Yeah. All right then.
Woo! That was exciting.
It's okay, Nim.
trying to tell.
It looks like it's on the
It's
right
on the
side of the road.
Yeah, I think so, because I see the cars between the emergency vehicles and us.
You okay now? It's okay, baby girl. She's like turned her head like she's left the room. Poor baby. You okay?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I just when he first started slowing down and I couldn't see there was any reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought he was just slowing down to get over behind.
Since you're slow, I'm gonna go check the fridge and make sure nothing tipped over and
Okay.
boiling
Yay,
over.
excitement.
Woohoo! Oh, I know. Not too bad. I smell something though. Did our brakes get hot?
Maybe warm, but I wouldn't. I'm guessing it's everybody else around us too.
Yeah, maybe. Your box of shakes is slid up to the door.
Made an escape.
Yeah, tried to anyway. Okay. Let me go remedy that before they get wedged and we can't open the door. Okay, everybody. Crisis averted. Tell you, when you pack the fridge so full, nothing really shifts.
Yep.
Oh. Whew.
Yeah, it could be our brakes a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little smelly out there.
Yeah, pretty aggressive stop.
Let's see, I'm gonna do a little test.
Yep, says we're back streaming again.
Yeah, I'm just testing the lag. It's quite a bit. Yeah, on the stream right now, I'm just getting up to check the refrigerator.
Okay.
So, let me text Mom just in case. 'Cause she did do a thumbs up. Well, I mean, it's still going, so
Yeah,
it's fine.
we're good.
All right, then. I shall leave it alone. Hey, buddy. Where's your sister? Oh, she's up on the counter. Nymph. The park next to us all night long had something called a sleeper. The world may never know.
See a fire truck.
There's a lane closure ahead.
Yep. Right you are, Ken. Oh, it looks like there's a spill on the road. Or maybe that's just where they put out a fire.
Hard to tell.
Yeah, I'm guessing just put out a fire. Hi, buddy. Yay. Save the brains.
Yeah, there was something in Spanish underneath, but I didn't get a chance to.
Hey, Fred. Yeah, I don't know if you can even hear us, but yeah, the internet is not doing too hot today.
Either. Yesterday was abysmal as well.
Yeah.
You can see Pikachu.
Yep.
Pikachu. Back to his little hole.
Louis did?
Yep.
Did Emma leave you alone more last night?
Not really.
Oh. What's up?
I'm just making sure I put the thing back on the
the lock
refrigerator.
on the fridge.
Yeah. Sorry guys, didn't mean to disrupt the nap. Emma's going in her hole now.
Hey, we're back online. Yeah, Fred, it's not doing too hot for us. I don't know how much of what anybody saw back there, but crest of the hill and everybody had to come to a stop real quick, but couldn't see that immediately.
There's lots of brakes up here on the...
He's just shifting over.
I thought it looked like a bunch of car brakes, but I think it was that sign.
Yeah.
Fred said, so going back to overheating, you're not the only one. My 2021 bus has been having issues. Go through Eagle Mountain between Tennessee and Georgia and it overheats.
Oh, that's not good. Hopefully you get that figured out soon. Sounds like either the clutch on the fan isn't engaging, which could be something as simple as it's not plugged in. On mine, the plug from the clutch for the fan comes down. There's a vertical support bar, and it's zip tied to the support bar with the connector right there. Could also be a faulty thermostat, not letting water flow through, but
He said, I can drop down to 25 miles an hour and high RPM and be okay, but that shouldn't be that way.
yeah, I agree.
I got lucky, and it's going in the dealership in a couple of weeks, and hope they can figure out why underload it overheats. That's good. They'll be able to troubleshoot it maybe.
Yeah. One thing you can do ahead of time, Fred, is with the engine running, turn on the dash air conditioner, like the actual AC, and that should kick in the clutch for the fan about for 15 seconds or 15 to 30 seconds every minute or two. And you should hear it chirp, and you'll hear the fan kick up real high speed whenever it does that. So that may be at least one thing you can try to see if the fan clutch is engaging properly. And it sounds like, since you know it's overheating, the dash temperature indication is proper, so that means the temperature sensor is doing okay. I don't know how handy you are, Fred, so beyond that, like I said, Tiffin helped me troubleshoot my dash AC, and they did a real good job talking through stuff, so you might give them a call and see if they can talk you through figuring it out, save you having to wait a couple of weeks. If you don't hear the fan kick up to high speed at all, it might be something as simple as a fuse. There's a bunch of fuses in the electronics bay in the back, on our coach anyway, and one of those, I'm certain, controls that fan clutch. Could also be a fuse under the driver's seat compartment, depending on, again, Tiffin would be able to help talk through whatever that is.
I love the Southwestern art and sculptures that they have on the overpasses throughout.
Yeah, I like them.
Vegas is really fun with like the barrel cactus, the coyote, those weird mules.
Those back there look like sunbeams.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought it was kind of cool that the sun was right up and the beams were like, maybe that was a planned thing. Robert B. Hello again, Lenan and Michael. Hope you have smooth sailing down to Rodeo. Or are you going there for shed maintenance? Hi, Robert.
Hey, Robert. Yes, actually more than shed maintenance. I'm actually moving the entire observatory, shed and all, 16 miles down the road.
Up the road.
Up the road. Yeah, sure. So we're going to be there 2 months. If everything goes perfectly smooth, I should be able to get it done in 3 weeks, but I wanted to give plenty of buffer time just in case. Hoping the new location has calmer winds, so it lets me use the observatory more.
did suss that out. And
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not like he's moving it and then hoping. Like
No,
he
no.
did research before.
Yeah,
Very
the only
thorough.
problem is the location it's going to, nobody there has a weather station like right there that I can trust. There's one across the road, but I have no idea what quality it is and if it's tucked in between two buildings or something dumb that it, you just don't know.
But it gives you a chance to get the new hotness.
What do you mean?
New hot weather station kind of thing.
Oh, yeah,
to put
yeah.
there.
Well, I'm doing that. The weather station that's on my observatory right now is having some failures on some of the outdoor instruments. So I'm putting the other one I have just like it in place, but I'm also putting a second one that is a different design. So hopefully it holds up better, and if nothing else, I have redundancy, more redundancy than I have now.
Fred said he's never heard a fan kick on ever. I see the fan running off the belt, but heard nothing else.
Yeah, Robert, it is a big job. Fred, so the way that clutch is set up, it's called a 2-speed clutch, and there's just a little bit of coupling from the drive belt to the radiator fan when it's not engaged. But then when it engages, it locks the input from the pulley through to the output shaft. And on mine, when it hits, you can hear it chirp because the belt slips just ever so slightly, and the fan really kicks up high speed. So if you're not getting that high speed fan engagement, even with the dash AC running while you're sitting still, then there's definitely something wrong with the control circuit driving that clutch. As silly as it sounds, I would check the connector because it's a simple thing and it will prevent it from working. And it's just a single wire bullet connector.
I just thought of something. Do you want to pull off so you can check the car after that?
No, I'm sure it's okay.
Because the Pikachu exit's coming up.
Yep. So Robert, yeah, the place I'm going to is also a lease for astronomers. They have several buildings, several observatories there that they lease the building itself. And they had some empty pads, so I struck a deal with them to bring my own observatory and put on a concrete pad that they already had. So the very first thing I got to do is dig and pour 2 pier footers so that when my building gets set on top, I can put my piers mounted to that. Then I got to disassemble all the roll-off roof support system and all that kind of fun stuff. And let's see. Take all the astronomy stuff out of my observatory, box it up nice and safe, get the building moved, then reconstruct all the roof supports. I'm going with metal this time instead of wood for the vertical parts. The horizontals on the roll-off part were already metal, so that's good. And then once I get it physically in place and all the roll-off mechanisms are back in line, then I also have metal siding. So I'm putting metal siding on the building so that I don't have to keep painting it every 6 months. And what else? Got to move the solar panels because the building will be actually rotated 90 degrees to what it is now. So the solar panels are going to be all along one side of the building. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff. The roof support stuff being metal, I'm going to have welded in place.
There's a speed trap ahead.
like the Stuckey family had like a falling out, and so over the 60s and 70s there were those Stuckeys with the A-frame roof. There was one back there, but it was called Nickerson's, and I remember there Nickerson's, yeah, like Nicholas.
Yep.
I remember there being like a Carl's Hardee's kind of thing, like depending on where you were in the part of the country. I'm sorry, I just saw the roof and.
That's okay.
Fred said, going to check that connector. Thanks for the tip.
Yep, no problem. If you want to chat, I'm happy to help troubleshoot. You should, well, Fred, I don't know if you're hearing me at this point. I'll wait till you come back.
Robert, is the internet better in the new location? I'm guessing for the shed.
It should be. There, at least I'll have multiple options. Right now, where the shed is, it's AT&T or really, really slow DSL. The new location has AT&T, Verizon, and maybe even some T-Mobile signal. So I'll have my pick of internet services there. And who knows, by the end of the year, Starlink may be up and running here too. And actually, the AT&T internet at the observatory, on the download, it is really quite good. Right now, it's getting about 90 to 100 megabits per second download, but the upload is only about 14 megabits per second. And for this for this use case, the upload is way more important than the download. So, but we'll see.
Should have had a better breakfast this morning. I feel like I'm going to snack my way into the afternoon.
Got an hour and 40 minutes to the stop, so.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make that. I had some jerky, but I'm going to try the Lily's no sugar added gummy bears. Ooh. Make sure it's not any of the talls.
I caught a message that Fred sent and then retracted.
Give you the giggles.
Only caught like the first two words.
I thought you were laughing at my talls. See how these taste. They're not too bad.
Hey, you either gotta lay down or get down. Danke, baby girl.
There is a bit of that stevia burnt coffee flavor.
I've never tasted burnt coffee with stevia, but
Stevia tastes like burnt coffee. Like there's an aftertaste of stevia, and it reminds me of burnt coffee. Like,
okay. I was unaware.
Yeah. Fred, I'm still here. Tried to find that connector before, but didn't really give a great look. I assume I need to go under the coach.
No, on mine, when you lift up the rear access compartment, you'll see the belt that drives the pulley, and then on the other side of the pulley is the clutch that engages the second speed or high speed of the fan. and that wire will come off of that clutch. So any wire that's in that general vicinity is that wire. And then on mine, I can see it come down, and then there's a vertical support angle iron that's in place there, and it holds, I think it holds the tanks and filters and different things. But it's just on that vertical bar, so when you open up, it'll be right there on the left-hand side, down about waist height is where it is on mine. Nope.
Baby, come.
While you're back there, if you have the air conditioner on, look for the AC compressor. It'll be, on mine, it's right behind all the tanks on the left-hand side, on the driver's side. And the AC compressor, when it kicks in to actually blow cold air through the dash, you should see the center part of that pulley hub engage, and it'll start spinning. At the same time that's spinning, the fan should be on at least every, like I said, every minute or two, if not the whole time. If your clutch doesn't kick in and you're not blowing cold air, then that's a different issue, but that'd be a double failure.
Is that the airport or airplane graveyard thing?
Yep, airplane graveyard over there.
Sorry.
There's something big flying up there, but I can't tell what it is.
I don't know if Tucson has a military base nearby. Pima, yeah. Maybe it's a military, like,
Maybe. From this angle, it just looks like a big box.
maybe a blimp.
Could be.
Well, aviation
turned a little
training
bit.
site.
Oh yeah.
Biosphere 2.
All right.
It's comical to me that biosphere is supposed to be this habitat that's locked down, and but then they have tourists. I thought the whole purpose was to take a group of people and subject them to solitary with their own self and create an
That's
environment
a specific
self-sustained.
type of biosphere. There's lots of different.
But that was the one that started in the 70s, was the biosphere here in Arizona.
Okay.
It was just supposed to be like,
Wow. I don't know what that is, but it is big. At least it looks
very
big.
reflective.
Yeah. And now I can't see it at all.
I see just a little bit of it,
Oh.
and then it went dark again. It's flying over Tucson, so I'm gonna go with blimp.
So the front AC on the dash, that front, well, at least on mine, the compressor for the front AC for the dash is in the back, and so is the, can't remember which one's which, evaporator or condenser, but I think it's the evaporator. Anyway, the outdoor part of an AC system, the outdoor coil, is part of the radiator stack. So whenever the dash AC turns on, it kicks up that fan to make sure it's pulling enough air across that condenser, evaporator, whichever it is. on AC systems enough to lock in that little tidbit. I guess it's evaporator is the outdoor part. No? Ah, shit. I don't know. Now, in Las Vegas, our neighbor had an Integra, and his compressor was still back there, but his outdoor exchanger was actually under the dash in the front by the generator, and it had its own electric fan on it, which I felt was better and worse at the same time. It was better because it wasn't dependent upon the engine fan, but then it wasn't as good because it was really low to the ground and right there, so if you took a rock with a specific bounce, it could blow right through that thing. In the future they start using something like the Tesla heat pump in place of dash air and even roof air conditioners and stuff, just run it on DC.
That'll probably take a while.
Yep, I'm sure it will.
Robert says condenser at the radiator.
Okay, thank you. Condenser at the radiator. Does that go around Tucson or down out? It goes down out of Tucson, right? Oh, it's a plane towing a sign.
Ah.
Okay.
I'm not really sure. I think 19 heads to Quartzsite.
I thought Quartzsite was way the other side of Arizona, like on the California border.
Yeah, but
Well, 8 goes that direction.
no. 19 goes towards Nogales in Mexico.
Ah, okay. So does it just drop straight south? Pretty much?
Yeah. I think 19 is what we took to get to Kit Peak.
Okay. That seems likely.
Oh, only for a little offset, and then we were on 86, looks like. I wonder what the fuel efficiency is on planes that tow that kind of stuff. There's got to be a reduction just from
yeah.
the sheer resistance.
Yep. Has its own evaporator tube, so I have water dripping from the RV all the time. Yes. So that is the heat exchanger for the actual dash air side. And yeah, it definitely does produce its own condensate, drip, and everything.
Oh, we're passing the family truckster.
Yeah, buddy. So that's the evaporator. Taking Robert's word that the condenser is at the radiator side. So that'd be the evaporator that's inside the fan box where it blows through to cool the air for the dash AC. So weird. It really looks like it's moving so slow.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't say something dumb.
I'm sure it does. Generally, people don't spend that kind of money anymore on "Will you marry me?" and, you know.
Well, I was thinking more something conspiracy theorist.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
like.
All of a sudden I smell roast beef and I don't know why.
I don't smell it. Fred, I learned sometime today. Woohoo!
Yeah, something.
Something.
So I did check, and on YouTube it is still set for ultra low latency, but I don't know what the latency actually is. Thanks for that.
There's only a 3-second lag.
3 seconds, wow.
Well, we're in Tucson, so that might be.
Well, I mean, that's impressive all the way
Yeah.
around. Usually the best we get is like 8 or 9.
It was more about 2.5 to 3 because I was in between the 2 and 3.
It doesn't look like he's doing too well with it, the sign.
Yeah. Probably ran out of fuel. I'm wondering if it's, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's upright. It looks like it's horizontal.
Yeah.
Like he's flying directly over something, so they look up.
Right.
But I can't. I can't really tell. It definitely looks like more than just some letters,
Yeah.
like a billboard of some kind. There's a Bisbee Breakfast Club in Tucson? What? I didn't know they were a chain. or multi-location. It's one of those places that was on the bucket list before COVID. It's Doug Stanhope's favorite restaurant in Bisbee.
Oh, nice.
Apparently they have a really good poached egg, so you know it was on my list.
Yep.
It kind of looks like a helicopter just because it almost looks stationary.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a plane. I can see the wings every now and then. No. No. All right, come on. Lay down. Thank you. I see blue background with gold and white lettering. Doesn't really help me figure out what it is, but
Yeah, I don't know. That didn't help. I thought if I took a picture and then zoomed in on it, I could.
oh, he's turning more across.
Looks like a political.
Maybe. Ynet? Maybe it's an ad for internet service or something.
WinBet. I
Oh.
bet it's a casino.
Yeah, or a gambling hub or something.
WinBet Sports something.
Sports.
Sportsplex, maybe? Vegas style games. Stupid, but not as stupid and disappointing as I thought it would probably be.
Right.
Fred, it must be nice to drive 77 miles per hour. Wife gets mad when I do 70 miles per hour.
Well, the speed limit out here where I was doing 77 was 75, so back east there's not a whole lot of 75 and 80 mile an hour speed zones.
To be clear, it is still not my favorite thing, but I'm learning. He says there's no difference, but when we slow down, I feel like we're not bouncing as much. But I don't know.
It's just a different bounce.
It's a kinder, gentler bounce.
Right.
Actually, not really. Tucson is a pretty cool little town.
Yeah.
Astronomy stuff, baseball stuff, gemstone stuff. There's a little bit for various interests. They have a minor league hockey team.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
Is it AHL or?
I think so. I think they're called the Roadrunners. I don't think they're ever going to paint those in the white relief
Yeah.
things. Seems like an odd choice to go for roadside art because there's details in texture, but driving by 60 miles an hour, you can't really tell.
Yep. Should be at Rusty's sometime shortly after 2.
Are you still going to drop the trailer when we pull in?
Have to.
Okay.
Unless you want to move the coach after we get there tomorrow.
No, I'm good.
Yep. I know. So yeah, the car hauler is going to turn into the mobile tool shed / office / entertainment hub / cool off zone.
Oh, for when you're on the working on the shed.
Yeah, in both locations.
Yeah, because you've only got so many days off, so you're going to have to...
Got to bust my hump.
Yep.
Tomorrow I'll be digging concrete holes and making forms and pouring concrete. Ooh, a classic Model S.
Is Mark bringing plywood to make the forms?
No, I'm gonna end up buying stuff at Mercantile. I hope Mark sleeps well tonight.
Yeah. Y'all are definitely going to be burning at both ends.
Yep. Dude, really? Nogales.
We haven't stayed at an RV park in Tucson, right? We stayed in Benson and then drove
Right.
up here.
Yep. I don't know if there's much of one here that we would be able to use.
Yeah, I think
There's like a KOA and a fairground or something maybe that we would fit in. But we definitely have to drop the trailer for both, I think.
Yeah. I was just wondering if that cafe that was next door to Star Arizona that we used to go to, if they were still open and had takeout, if like you had to come up here for a telescope reason or anything
Right.
like that. I measure the likability of a place based on the restaurant. Like Radish in Albuquerque, that was
Yeah.
awesome.
I hope they're still in business.
Yeah.
That's the problem with a lot of the smaller, quirky places, the mom and pop shops.
Just fell apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard enough anyway to have a restaurant.
Yes.
I mean, something like 75% fail within the first 5 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was a Costco on the south end of Tucson.
I didn't realize we were on the south end of Tucson.
Yep. I think the airport's coming up and then we're back out of it.
Cool. So we should hit back to the 75 zone soon.
Soon.
I know we're on the outskirts when I start seeing all the truck stops on the north side of the interstate. Mesa.
days, La Mesa.
Yep. We stopped at, maybe it was this one.
For what?
When we had the gas coach and we were specking out for ordering or going to watch this one get built,
Oh.
we stopped like at a Lowe's parking lot or something, and it was close to a La Mesa here in Tucson, and we walked across the street to go look around a bit.
I thought that was Phoenix.
Could have been. I thought it was Tucson, but it could go either way.
Is that a power station?
I don't know. It definitely looks like it uses or produces power.
Maybe like geothermal?
Could be a natural gas plant too.
It's geothermal that's there by Cochise, right? The Sunazona?
Yeah. Yes, something like that.
It's just south of Wilcox, I think.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's a power station, but I don't know the source. Looks like there's an airport on the other side of it.
I think that's
Or
Pima.
prison. Oh, Pima.
Pima Airfield. Although that could be farther down.
How's the RO system been working? Made any improvements? You know, I've not touched it at all, and it's working great. When we were up in New York, we had an issue where it was extremely slow producing, and I can't remember now what the issue was.
The filter.
Ah, yes. The half micron filter was completely clogged up right before it went into the pump to pressurize up for the RO side. So that's the only issue I've had, and that's my own fault for not replacing the filters as frequently as I should. It was one of the pre-filters. But yes, we absolutely love the RO system. To be able to have drinkable water anywhere between the RO, the 3-stage filters, the RO, and the UV sanitizing. It's very nice. Our bandwidth dropping out a little bit. Oh, and it's back. Definitely on the outskirts now. There's the truck stops.
Yep.
I think it's that Pilot that has a supercharger as well. I've pulled in there and charged a couple of times.
Well, this is the road I took to drop you off at the airport.
Yep.
Crawford something. That was not a pleasant drive from Benson up here to drop you off to drive back, and
Yep.
I think your flight was like at 5 in the morning too. That was.
Yeah, it was pretty early. I'm trying to remember where I went on that trip.
Is that Montreal?
No, I think Montreal. We were in the Memphis, outside of Memphis
I think
part.
it was San Antonio.
May have been. Yeah, it may have been San Antonio. There was a Mustang Mach-E. So today, after we get set up, gonna scrub the bugs off the front of the coach, and go do measurements for the pier footers at the shed right now, so I know what the spacing, like what the exact spacing for the bolt holes need to be.
Right.
And start putting together a parts list, supply list for going to Mercantile.
I think you'll have to go there tomorrow. I don't think they're going to be open.
Oh yeah, they're not going to be open
the-
today. And I wouldn't. I think we'll take Mark's van for that run,
Okay.
because we're just going to need some short 2x4s and some plywood pieces. I'm pretty sure all that'll fit in his van, no problem. Otherwise, I'll take the car hauler, but. We are now below the generator cutoff. Oh no, we're not. We're just in the low range of the generator range on fuel.
We still have another hour.
Yeah, 58 minutes, 69 miles. And according to this, we have 202 miles to empty. So we should be good to go. Crap, it's 75 now. I was waiting for it and then forgot to keep an eye out. Surprised I don't have more cars built up behind me. And construction zone. So it'll probably be back down to 65 at a minimum, or at maximum.
I'm gonna go grab a refill. Do you want anything?
Maybe a piece of chocolate.
Okay. You need a refill?
Maybe a top-up wouldn't hurt.
Okay. I'll
Go,
get
go.
it. I'll get it.
It's okay. It's loose now.
I love you.
Love you. Next 1 mile, uneven pavement. No, you hop down. No. So Fred and Robert, I don't know if you were on yesterday when I was talking about the other issues that happened on our trip from New York to Las Vegas. We haven't blogged about it yet because we're waiting on the final resolution to appear. But the day that we left Gary, Indiana, we called ahead and got reservations at an RV park, and we always, say exactly how big we are and make sure that they understand, the size and what we need and that kind of stuff. And they were absolutely, yep, no problem at all. We got long pull-throughs, we got one set aside for you, everything's good to go. But what they didn't tell us was that none of the trees around the park had been trimmed in over a year. Actually, it was closer to 18 months. So we got there at 9:30 at night and couldn't see what we were getting into until we were already in the middle of it, and ended up with big scratches down the side of the coach, left driver's side, and down the side of the car hauler. The next morning when I went to talk to the office, they blamed my driving at first, and then admitted that they hadn't had the trees trimmed in over a year and a half, or over a year. And then the owner came and talked to me at the site to look at the coach, and he accused me of lying. So I reminded him that I've got video cameras that recorded the whole thing, and I have no reason to lie about something like that. Dankeschön. And then I walked through the park with him and showed him where everything was that scratched and danke, caused problems. And then it took a month and a half of calling to actually get their insurance company to call me back. And finally, the insurance company called, and within 30 minutes of them getting all the pictures and video and my description of everything that happened, within 30 minutes they replied back and accepted responsibility for it. So ballpark $8,500 to correct the scratches on this and wrap the car hauler in vinyl, because the car hauler is anodized aluminum finish, and if it's scratched you can't just paint it and you can't buff it. So the only way to restore the appearance is to coat everything in vinyl. So we just had the car hauler vinyl done right before we left, and we'll get the coach compounded and polished out when we're back in Las Vegas in December.
Fred said, "Oh wow."
Yep.
I think the thing that really frustrated me in the beginning was that I have a checklist, and I've been asking these questions for years. And so Marco was sitting out there with me, and I know I didn't miss any of the
Yep.
will we fit, this, that, and the other. Oh yeah, no problem. And,
I guess we need to add, have you trimmed your trees in the last year?
right? And do we have to share a water spigot?
Yeah.
And is
So
your-
we found, I'm moving over. As part of our prep and what we sent to the insurance company, we found 3 different reviews posted in the last 6 months where someone else complained about having damage to their coach from the trees, and had the same thing happen to them. Like, they tried to explain to the office, and the office accused them of not driving properly, and then letting them know that they hadn't had the trees trimmed. So in the last 6 months they've had this reported to them, and they've still not taken any action to correct it, and they're not giving anyone warnings.
Fred said, "Thank goodness for the cameras, my
Yes.
next investment."
Yep.
I brought one of these up for you too.
Oh, danke.
Bitte.
Yeah, Fred, I've got 2 cameras out the dash One of them is 1080p and aimed lower, and one of them's 4K and aimed higher. And then one off under the rear spoiler, right beside the backup camera. And those record 24/7 and keep about 3 weeks worth of data on them. So, or the system I have keeps about 3 weeks worth of video. We're just waiting on the settlement check to show up before we post about it online.
Yeah. Not that we would say anything
I mean, we're not going to be
incorrectly,
no,
or
not at all.
Yeah, it's just one of those things like you don't expect people to do the right thing.
Yep, and that's exactly what I told the owner when he was there. When he accused me of lying, I told him, you know, number one, I'm nothing without my integrity, and number two, I have video, and number three, I already know I'm into this repair for thousands of dollars, and I don't expect him to do the right thing, because in general, people prove me right that they don't do the right thing. And they were trying not to. A month and a half of calling to get their insurance company involved.
And so shady that they wouldn't even give you a name.
Yeah, they wouldn't even give me the name of the owner of the park. Like, I called and I said, okay, well, just give me the park owner's name so I can talk with him directly to get this resolved. And they wouldn't even tell me his name, let alone phone number or anything else. They didn't realize I already had all that information. I'd already searched public records and found the owner and where he, you know, his address, his phone number, all that stuff. So if needed to, I could have pushed further, but luckily the last time when I called them, I reminded them that this was a legal matter at this point, and you know, it's several $1,000s worth of damage and this needs to be covered.
And then they hung up on him.
Yeah, they hung up on me, but 30 minutes later their insurance company called me. So I think they hadn't called or done anything with their insurance company until that specific moment. Dude's off-roading.
Oh, he's taking water.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these places, that's the only, you know.
There was a backhoe going up too.
Oh, okay.
Or not backhoe, bulldozer.
I just saw the water truck,
Mhm.
or maybe it was a fuel truck. I didn't see all the other construction. Yeah, there's quite a few places out here that they don't have running water like hooked up to a city line or a well. They have a cistern, and water gets delivered.
Yep.
Which, if you want to go off grid, go off grid. Go big or go home, I guess. Or go small and go home.
Well, and Theo, the guy at the detail shop that worked on the car hauler and is going to be doing the work on the coach, he said he's got a buddy that bought 80 acres in New Mexico, and they came out and drilled 3 different locations and never could hit water, so he has to go with a cistern.
Yeah.
Actually, I think he said he's got a big water tank on a trailer, so he, like 300 gallons, he fills it at home or in town or something and then drives it out there. And
Well,
it's not even potable water, it's just gray water.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the locations that I had seen on Zillow, they had 2,300 gallon cisterns. There were a couple that were in there was one by a barn and one by the house. So
You ever have time for a small blog about the camera recording system? It'd be great. I need a project. Okay. Yeah, I'll put something together, Fred. The easy way to get started into it with actual decent quality stuff is the Unify Protect lineup. They have lots of different cameras. They're all powered over Ethernet, so you run one wire to them, and then it's hardwired Ethernet, and you're good to go. They even have some little tiny, they call them instant cameras, that are Wi-Fi, and they're powered over USB-C. So if you had a power bank or something, you could run them like that. But I run almost everything in the coach hardline from that perspective. But yeah, the Protect system, and it has, you can get the unified controller. They call it the Cloud Key Gen 2 Plus, and it has a hard drive bay. It comes with a 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte, but you can put up to a 5 terabyte spinning laptop disk in it, and it'll easily run enough cameras to monitor around your coach and stuff. Rich and Sue, the latest on Starlink. Well, they're supposed to be coming out of beta and going to what they're calling general availability within the next 4 to 6 weeks, is what the last report I saw, the last tweets from Elon. And they're saying coverage across the whole U.S. before the end of the year. Although they will still be limited on capacity. So, you know, in dense populated areas, it'll be extremely easy to not be able to get activated. Like if you come into an area traveling as an RVer, it'll be extremely easy to not be able to get activated because they already have a full satellite in that area, or a full cell. But when you're going out in the middle of nowhere, like New Mexico, you know, out in the wilderness, there's a high chance, as long as they have service, that you'll be able to get service, because it'll be a very sparsely populated area.
What do they call that? Better than nothing?
Well, that's what they're in right now, the better than nothing beta. But in the next 4 to 6 weeks, it'll be general availability. It won't be beta anymore, or at least it won't have that, you know, that nomenclature applied to it.
You think they're ever going to have a committed baseline, like at least so many bytes per second kind of thing?
Well, so yeah, as soon as they get a full constellation of satellites, like up to a certain point, then aside from maintenance, you'll have coverage and you'll have bandwidth.
I meant like speed. Like Cox has different.
Oh,
like you can
tiered.
get a lower one.
Right,
yeah.
right. Okay, so tiered plans. I don't know. I don't think that's their aim. They've talked about not wanting to do that. They've, you know, just have one plan, and as their speed improves, your speed improves, and you keep paying the same price, basically. And they're also not wanting to have any bandwidth restrictions or data caps. So, you know, unless you're just being extremely abusive, you should not have any issues maintaining connectivity, even if you use several hundred gig to a couple terabytes a month. I'm sure would not be a problem. We usually, the last 2 weeks we were in Las Vegas, we used 10 terabytes in 2 weeks. That was on a cable modem with 940 megabit down and 30 megabit up.
But we got all the HDRs.
Yeah, we got a lot of HDR content downloaded during that time. And when we're mobile like this, we'll still use usually 3 to 5 terabytes a month. So we are extremely heavy users.
And usually that, though, because we don't tend to download a lot because of the restrictiveness. I mean, if it's a new something that we need to get, we don't go backlog and download a
Right.
bunch.
We don't go searching through backlog to upgrade the quality of our previous stuff. But yeah, we still download new good quality.
Which it was a shock to the system because one of the episodes of something was coming down, and it had started, I guess, the night before we left, and then the internet service changed, and it said it was going to take 15 days. Okay.
Well, it'll be better once we're out here.
Oh yeah.
I made that extremely restrictive on that downloading so that we'd have bandwidth for the trip and such. Oh man, I forgot again. We're back at 75 miles an hour and I'm just puttering about.
Rich and Sue, are you seeing monthly cost of around $90?
On Starlink, it's $99 flat. No additional taxes or anything on top of that. It's $99.00 every month. The hardware is delivered and everything, including your $100 deposit, it totals out to be right around $600 right now for the hardware. They are working on a new lower cost hardware that has the same performance, that's easier to manufacture. No real word on what the expected price is on that. And they're also working for an in-motion internet solution. So you could have it under a dome on your coach or boat or whatever, or truck, long haul truck, and it would give you in-motion satellite service or internet service. The big caveat with all this, and I keep forgetting that a lot of people don't realize this, it's not like DirecTV or Dish Network. Those two, the satellite stays, it's called geosynchronous orbit. So from the vantage point of us here on Earth, those satellites are stationary in the sky. In reality, they rotate with the Earth, but whatever. So for those, you can shoot a gap in the trees and you're just fine. As long as you can get the pencil beam basically through to that satellite, you won't have any issues. With Starlink, it's not like that at all. Starlink, the satellites are constantly passing overhead. So in order to use it, you need a wide open field of view of the sky in the general vicinity of where the satellites for your area pass over. So if there's anything in that path as the satellite crosses over, then you're going to lose signal and service for some period of time. Now they are working on new algorithms for the dishes, the user terminal part, what they call dishy, so that once they have a higher percentage of their satellite constellation in orbit, it will be able to predict, like it'll know that this path always gets blocked in this position, and there's another satellite that doesn't get blocked for that segment of time, so it'll dynamically switch to a different satellite so that it maintains your connectivity, maybe at a slightly lower rate because it's a non-optimal satellite. Otherwise it would stay on that one all the time. But they're working on all that kind of stuff. Hey, thanks Fred for sticking around. Hope you help get all the projects knocked out today. My intention in this trip is to actually install the Starlink on my observatory, the one that we have, and leave that here as its internet connection. And then use cellular as the backup.
My swipe keyboard is really off. I tried to type deliver and it said, did you mean delicious? Like it auto-corrected to delicious.
So we got 43 miles, 37 minutes to our fuel stop coming up.
Stuff on Etsy I wanted to order, it doesn't say on the seller information whether it ships postal service or a UPS, so I had to text them and say, which do you use, so I know what address to give you for here.
Oh yeah. Rich and Sue, how are David and Brenda doing? Doing well. Last I spoke with them, they're getting ready to head south out of New York. I think they're going to be heading towards Burleson, Texas. They were, David was lamenting that it was going to be raining for the next several days up until the point that they left. So they were going to have to pack up their site there in New York all in one day right before the rain hit. Otherwise it'd all be wet. He texted me yesterday morning and said, "I thought you were leaving today." I said, "We are. It's only 8:30 in the morning here." He forgot about the time difference. Benson, next 4 exits. If you're in Benson, you should stay at the Butterfield Rv Resort. It's a nice little campground.
If you're not longer than 36 feet.
Well, no, I mean, even we've stayed there a couple of times with this coach.
We only had that one chance, and it was backed up against the observatory, and that was like a one-off for us. I don't think they have for the general.
Because we stayed at another site and then moved to that one because we wanted to move on to that one.
Oh, I thought we were in the gas coach when we stayed on the other site.
No, I mean, we did in the gas coach as well, but yeah, they can accommodate bigger coaches. We did not have the car hauler at that time.
Right, that was the... Okay.
I think...
Yeah, we had the Jeep.
Oh, no. We did have the car hauler one time, and we left it parked in the parking spaces over across from the office. I remember that now. But yeah, it's really nice. They have an observatory with a dome and I think it's a 16-inch Meade telescope, so really nice telescope. And they do night sky tours. So they have work campers that are astronomy savvy, and they give a tour of the night sky with the telescope there at the observatory.
We should come up here and check out that Arizona Legends RV Resort where you can buy the lot or you can rent it. The lots are huge, and you can put in sheds or do build outs or leave it bare, whatever you want to do.
Cool.
But you purchase it and have the deed like at LVM.
Okay.
But I think they like have a rental pool as well, so we could.
Interesting. You got to remember though, this is where, well, I don't know how close it is to anything, but this is the train capital too.
Oh yeah, it's close. I mean, it's not as close as Butterfield, but
yeah.
And it's higher up than the train, so I think maybe the hills and the mesas are buffeted, maybe.
The only real downside here in Benson is that they're kind of losing their night sky.
Yeah, they are.
The area is really building up, and it's causing a lot more light pollution than used to be here.
Yeah, everything is sprawling out.
Yep.
Like sun sites, I think it's where Mark. No, that's Sun. Is it Sunazona or Sunsite? Sunazona.
Yeah, Sunazona.
Yeah. And I remember the first time we came back this way after we stayed the month or so in Benson. We were coming through Texas Canyon, and it was just lit up, and we thought, are we in Tucson already?
Right.
And I can't remember why we were driving at night, but
that wasn't too bad. Yeah, the surprising thing is Starlink hasn't launched any new satellites, except for one. They've done one launch in the last, like, almost 6 months, I think. Everybody thought they were going to be doing every 2-week launches, but they're preparing their new second generation of satellites with the laser interconnects so that they can get more contiguous coverage even in areas where they don't have a downlink station. So like across the ocean, for example.
Rich and Sue want to know, did Starlink
Keep left to stay on I-10
did Starlink need to register what altitude to put up all the satellites?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of approval processes and everything that they have to go through. And actually they've modified their request a couple of times so that they could have different numbers of satellites in different orbits and at different elevation planes. And they're getting pushback from companies like Amazon, because Amazon wants their Kuiper mega constellation for internet in the sky, and they're way behind on it comparatively. So they're trying to keep Starlink slowed down from being deployed so that they still have at least some likelihood of being competitive once they get their satellites up there. Down below a quarter tank on the fuel, but only 33 miles left. Plenty of fuel. Yeah, and Rich and Sue, there's actually websites dedicated to tracking Starlink satellites. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but maybe something like Satellite Info or something like that. But if you search Starlink satellite map or Starlink satellite,
Tracker.
I'd just say map, huh? Tracker, maybe. You should be able to find it, but it's really kind of mesmerizing to see the globe and then the positions of all the satellites. There's also maps that show you the cells on the ground, and it tells the percentage of coverage for the current constellation that's in orbit.
Are the satellites for Starlink higher than the ISS flight plan or lower?
Believe they are lower, if I remember right. Yeah, they are lower. The ISS, I think, is like at 570 kilometers, and the Starlink, the highest orbit for their shell is 550 or something. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me. Starlink. Oh, hey, where the trail leads. How's it going? Starlink or SpaceX is actually talking about using the Starlink satellites for downlink of their launch missions and such, so that they don't have to keep using the NASA and other government communication satellites for that kind of stuff. seen the thing?
Yeah, and I want my money back. Windy here in Texas, hot and humid. Can't wait for Starlink to be fully open.
Yes.
I don't envy you with the humidity.
Yeah, it's actually going to be really pleasant here while we're here.
It's in here no matter the weather.
Okay. Well, it can get pretty humid in the summertime during monsoon season.
Yeah, but what a show.
That's true. Lots of lightning.
Yep. There's a trade-off I might, suffer through, but just walking out and going to the grocery store about dying, that's
Yeah.
no bueno.
We were finally in an area that I could activate our Starlink and actually test, and it does actually work. We got Starlink in November while we were in Burleson. That's where we had it shipped to. And we had not been in an area where we could actually, through the website, move the service to and get connectivity. But one night on the way back, we stopped in Heber City? No,
Yes.
Heber City, Utah. And they had an open slot, so I was able to activate the satellite there and play with it for about 15 minutes before I went to bed. It was a Walmart parking lot, so I didn't feel comfortable leaving it just sitting outside while we slept. But
Yeah, we need to go back to that town. It was a cute little valley.
yeah, we do. I hope there's RV parks around there that we could.
There is one that we fit and has storage, but it's
Cool.
it's pricey.
Well, it's a resort town, so
Yeah.
like winter ski resort town.
Oh, they're not open in the winter too, so that tells you
Oh.
that it's
Wow.
it's like the motorcoach resort in Rio.
Wow.
It's snow bunny. You got a road gator hanging over. Oh, it's okay. Never mind. Yeah, it was a lucky detour, I guess. There was a wildfire between where we were and Salt Lake City, so they diverted traffic in this cute little pocket. Only about 30 minutes from downtown Provo, so still not.
And they had they had the major services. They had a
Yeah.
Walmart and they had grocery stores and stuff like that.
Mark said I just spent 6.5 weeks in the Jayhawk state. Poor Mark, all the detours and other things he had to deal with. He got out of Kansas at 12:25 a.m. Central Daylight Time.
Wow. Man, when he does those trips, I do not envy him. He drives straight through most of the time, maybe with like one nap in the middle.
Well, I mean, that's how Mom and I used to, anytime we had to go anywhere, we'd leave actually in the middle of the night. Less traffic,
Yep.
cooler weather.
Yeah, but you would take turns driving.
True. Unless she took her truck, and then I wasn't allowed to drive it.
Oh.
That was,
reserved for me.
yeah, that was reserved for you.
I think we're coming up into the area where that really cool rest area is. That has all the hoodoos
Oh
around.
yeah, the Texas Canyon.
Yep. Yeah, it was a really cool area. Man, I'm again being on the road. It really reminds me how nice these tires are compared to the old ones.
Yeah, they're very comfortable. Actually, it may be coming up real quick because I think that
like that big rock formation
Yeah,
there.
it's the beginning of it for sure. And then you've got the there's the gap, and then I think it's right, like maybe where the little smaller looking jagged ones are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's been a while since we've been this way. I think last year sometime,
No.
or spring,
March, or no, May.
May.
Into May, first part of June, we were through here. Because we stopped on the way through before we went on into Kentucky.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
So enjoy the hoodoos if you're watching on the live stream. Glancing over at my laptop, they look so tiny on the little video preview I've got there.
Mark is north of Alamogordo.
Oh, cool. Dragoon Road. Yep, rest area 1 mile. The crap, what is his channel name?
Love Your RV.
Love Your RV. Thank you. Yeah, Love Your RV. They did a video on this area here. It was probably about 1.5 years ago. They were down in this area.
Robert
It was pre-COVID, or right at the beginning.
Robert wants to know what tires that we use.
So we went, instead of, we needed new tires. They were aged out. So instead of using the Michelin that we had before from the factory, we went with BF Goodrich ST230. So Sierra Tango 230. They're used by a lot of over-the-road truckers, and they were recommended to us by the National Tire Concierge Service, which gets tremendous discounts off of Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. We ended up saving almost $2,000 off the next closest price that we could find on the tire, on the set of 8 tires, by going through the National Tire Concierge Service. There's a link for them down in the video description, by the way. But they recommended them to us because they said they're, you know, I don't know what that was.
Your bug zapper.
Oh, okay. They said they were better, you know, better life and softer. Well, not softer, but a better ride quality. And that has absolutely proven to be the case. We've now put, about 5,000 miles on them probably. And they're still very, very smooth compared to the Michelins. The only downside is they don't have the 285 or 295/80 size that our rear tires were. So we went with the 315 size all the way on all the tires, which is no big deal. It just means that the speedometer is off slightly. So you're going 2.9% faster than your speedometer indicates. But that's fine. And that's actually why on the display in the middle of the or in the middle of the top, I guess over there, you can see it. That's why the actual speed reports higher than the cruise control setting, because I've put into this software what the offset is. And so it's showing the computer set point for cruise, but then calculating the offset for the actual speed.
desert.
Yep.
You can see Mount Graham's observatory flickering over there in the distant mountain range. Looks like a flashlight blinking on the top of the ridge.
Oh, yeah, way over there on the left.
Yep. That one's Mount Graham, and it's, I want to say, 14,000 feet up. And they do tours, but you have to sign a waiver and schedule it out. And yeah, it's, if you're on oxygen, pregnant, have any kind of heart condition, you're not allowed to go.
Wow.
It's only open in a short window when there are actual people on site and it's not remote. Rich and Sue, fuel game, 391.73.
Okay. Yeah, you can see what the fuel gauge is at right now, and we've got a, what is it, $3.28?
8 cents.
$3.28 a gallon. Is it 328.9 or is it 3?
I thought it was 328.2.
Okay.
They're always weird on the fuel app.
Yeah.
Let's see.
15 miles left.
Yeah, 328.2. And I think we're gonna stop and have lunch. And you want to have lunch, or you want to keep on trucking?
I don't know. I guess we could eat a light lunch or something. For me, anyway. You could have lunch. Feed the kids.
Yeah.
The fur babies.
There's a speed trap ahead.
Indeed there was.
Yeah. Shrub makes for good coverage.
Yep. So anybody else want to throw in their guesses for the fuel game, you're more than welcome. I think it's Price is Right's rules, right? Closest without going over, unless everybody went over.
Sure. You gonna sing a song?
No promises. Dust devil out there.
I saw, I think it was on treehugger.com, there was a video somebody caught of a small dust devil whirling like on some stone right in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the commentary was that even though they're caused by the same type of vortex that tornadoes are, they're generally not dangerous.
Right.
And my thought was, man, they have never been to South New Mexico. Because they just whip around and like.
Yeah, but it's not like it destroys lots of property.
No,
or
but I
something.
mean, if you're stuck out in one, you get sandblasted. It's.
Oh, it doesn't feel
yeah,
good.
It's.
I think that one dissipated for the most part.
I mean, we've had some roll through Rusties that.
Well, that's what the highest wind speeds I've registered there were dust devils that went right over the shed. One of them, the record holder up until this last summer was 75 miles an hour. This summer we got one that was 78 miles an hour. They had a huge, like haboob level dust storm blow through there that actually blew so hard that it blew dust between the crack in the door and inside the shed. There's a V pattern of dust on the floor.
Oh, there's not now.
No, there still is.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, we've not been there since that happened. Kind of wishing I still had that old Dyson vacuum to use out there. I kind of don't want to take our new one out there.
I don't want you to take our new one out there either. The brooms have worked for millennia.
Yep. And a shop vac, broom and a shop vac.
Hello, Augusto.
Hey, hello, Augusto. Thank you for joining. You're just in time to cast your bid for the fuel gain. We've got 9 miles left, and the fuel cost is $3.28 and 2 tenths. $3.28.2 per gallon. Pipe or cable or something.
And those cabezas over there.
Yep.
I don't think the camera gives that much detail to anybody. Sorry.
Oh, and we do have a 150 gallon tank, and you can see the fuel level in that little instrument cluster at the top center. Start breaking out my lip balm again. My lips are already getting drier. We've been, well, almost we've been there. We got to the bottom of it, but it was closed.
Well, we did get to the visitor center. I mean, that was open for the turnaround. So we went in, went to the bathroom, and drove around a little bit.
Yep.
The visitor center was closed, but the bathrooms were open. So
right.
Yeah. It was
So saying we've been to the visitor center is maybe a little generous.
We were actually in the building. I took a picture. No pictures, no proof. Oh, excuse me. One of these days I want to take the fire road up and over from Portal to the monument and then back.
Yeah.
It's 25 miles and it takes 2.5 hours. On a good day.
Should do that before we trade the X in.
I'm worried if we trade the X in and maybe it gets scratched and then the retail goes down or something.
Nah, it's fully paint protection filmed the whole way over. So.
All right, that's.
I mean, it's not like it's brush and you're having to part the shrubs to get through. Right?
I don't know. I've never been up there.
I wouldn't think so. But anyway, the X has higher clearance, so if you need to lift the suspension to get over stuff, it is taller.
Yeah, because my plan, what I wanted to do, because I did the math and checked out the supercharger. You come out here, and then there's the supercharger here at Wilcox at the hotel.
Mm.
So. I don't know how much regenerative going downhill that slow would actually give you. I'm not really sure.
Don't know.
In 2 miles, take exit 340 for Arizona 186 East, West Valley Drive.
That route you go right past Johnny Ringo's grave, and it's just interesting and
2.3 miles to the fuel stop. 1.5 miles to the exit.
Wilcox, home of Rex Allen, the singing cowboy.
All right.
I think he was before Roy Rogers' time. One of those yodelay-hee-hoo cowboys.
Because, you know,
Half a mile, take exit 340 for Arizona 186 East, West Valley Drive.
if you're not getting your yodel on, are you really singing?
Not really. You're just messing it up for everybody.
Right.
Too bad Annie's isn't open on Sundays. I'd have you pull around there and get some deliciousness. Yeah, but Annie's Orchard,
Quarter mile,
Oh.
turn left
They have
on
that,
Arizona 186 West, Fort Grant Road.
they have no sugar added preserves and apple butter. And
Cool.
Turn left on Arizona 186 West, Fort Grant Road.
There's a cute little barbecue here in Wilcox. It's in an old railway caboose.
Oh, the low back is unhappy.
In a quarter mile, turn right.
Yeah, looks like one Tesla supercharging. Or maybe that's not. It's Tesla at the supercharger. Yeah, maybe it is.
Where are you
No.
going? It's straight, honey.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Take
Love
the
you.
next right.
My bad.
Then your
I should have.
destination will be on the left.
about that.
Sorry.
Wow, Ocean just returned home from a 23-mile walk. Hope you two are
Make a
keeping
U-turn,
okay.
Then turn left.
We are. We're doing well. We're almost there. I hope you got some great pictures. 23-mile walk. Wow. All right, I'm gonna mute y'all.
And I'm gonna start pumping some fuel. Hey, excuse me. Thank you, baby girl. Wallet. Stay. No, I think we're only at 3/4 of a tank, so I think we're fine. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Hello everybody, I'm back. Michael is finishing up cleaning the windshield and just about done fueling. It stopped, but he hasn't done the top off thing. If anybody else wants to chime in on the fuel game guest, welcome Vivian. A little bit of lunch. So the fuel game, the numbers, I think we have a 150 gallon tank. We were near empty. $2 or $3.28, 2/10, so $2.82, $3.282. I don't know what else information you need, but you can get your guesses in. I have no idea what is going on with that blue coach or blue truck on there. Like he's trying to back up over something. Vivian, I am doing way better than I was when we were back east. Thank you for asking. I am so grateful to be back in low humidity, dry. It doesn't matter how hot it gets. It really is that dry heat thing that just lets the fibro, lets my muscles relax. That and fewer people. I'm not a fan of crowds and try to get in and out and do all of the errands when we're back east. It's still stressful because there's so many people. I don't know what's going on with that truck. Like, I don't know if they're testing something or...
They're trying to get something. I don't know.
I thought they were trying to get it over the wedge, the block that he put behind the back wheel. But, I don't know.
I'm gonna mute and use the restroom real quick. Actually, I should probably pull forward first.
Will you try to park somewhere close to where I can take her to potty?
Sure.
Okay.
Good.
Greetings, Deanna. I hope you guys are well.
Seeing some good guesses.
Yeah.
Did you already tell them what the pump said?
What the total was?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. We don't know what we actually paid until we look at the app, so.
Right.
You said somewhere close to someplace you can take Fiona, right?
Yeah. I think last time we just parked on the end of something because there's sand on the other side.
Yeah. Sounds right. I gotta check the car hauler when we get stopped.
Alright. And your light lunch is in the microwave.
Okie doke.
You got the remaining of the chili chicken with the squash.
Yay.
Deanna, if you could get him to do a telecommute job, you could get on the road sooner, but I understand. It's... You okay?
Yep, just
Oh.
gotta mute and use the restroom.
Okay. It's always something to look forward to be done with the 9 to 5 day to day. Although I don't think Michael will ever retire. He likes to stay busy and do new things. We may have a dust devil go right in front of the coach. I don't know if you can see looks like a paper bag spinning around. What's up, Fifi? Yep. You're gonna check the car before you eat?
Yep.
Okay. That guy's having a bad day.
I brought yours and left mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back.
Yeah, sorry.
Dang.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He had a bad day.
No doubt.
Went right into that puddle, and it wasn't a puddle. It was a pond. Deanna, yeah, being in the close space does take quite a bit getting used to. We've been at it for 14 years now. And it wasn't so bad up until COVID, because COVID you had that physical restriction where you could not go out and wander around. So my joy is get in the car, go for an afternoon drive, just random somewhere. But with COVID, there was, no way of knowing where there would be a bathroom or, so I was kind of stuck inside. So, stray doggy out there. Aww. Oh, he's got a bandana on. He's probably a trucker dog. That infuriates me. They get out.
Everything's right where we left it.
I don't know if that's a stray dog or the trucker's dog.
I'm guessing it's the trucker's dog.
Augusta, we're going to be staying at Rodeo, in Rodeo, for 2 months. And hopefully everything will go smoothly. The shed will get moved, all of it will work. And then from there, we're going to head back to Las Vegas. And I think after Christmas or New Year's, we have no idea what's happening next.
Sounds about right.
We're scheduled back at Rusty's for January, February, in case we still need to come back down to do more shed stuff. But the dog's supervising.
Yeah.
It looks like he thought that was just a little puddle and dropped down, and then maybe it's pinching that tire so he can't.
Well, I think it may have popped his fifth wheel hitch loose.
Mm.
Too much angle.
I'm worried about taking Fee out there now.
With this loose dog.
Yep. What?
Just reading Deanna's response.
Oh. Yeah, you can maybe fit a keyboard in a coach, but not on a full-on piano. I'm having
Fit
this.
a piano.
Yeah, just
but
not much else. Jinx. I've had this thing where I want a grandfather clock, or at least a clock with a pendulum that makes the nice balance tick. But, you know, it might run for an hour and then the balance will be off or something because you're in the RV, and definitely not when you're running down the road. So. Vivian's lived in Vegas since 1989.
Oh, cool. Hey, baby.
Back when it was a small town. And there are more people that live in Clark County than all of New Mexico. And that's not counting people that
Tourist or whatever.
tourist or they have residency somewhere else and they've come in for work, like performers, actors, that kind of thing.
My mic is still muted.
Okay. Deanna just wants to be out of Illinois, tired of cold weather, getting too old to be out there shoveling snow. Oh, yeah. I'm not a fan of cold, damp weather. And when did we first come out? Well, we first came out here in 2010 and only stayed for a month. Actually 2 weeks because it took a week to get out here and a week to get back. But, and I lived out here when I was in junior high and freshman year of high school. But, and out here I mean Southwest. We went back east and it was just where we lived and you didn't know any better. And then when we came out here in 2014, it was just eye-opening. Like the fibromyalgia let up, everything just kind of calmed down, the quiet. It was, so I highly recommend the Southwest.
All right, so the winner. Let me give you some stats first.
Are you unmuted?
Oh, no.
Take two.
Alrighty, so thanks, Augusto. We got 110.72 gallons. The price at the pump was $409.56, but we saved $41.55. So that brought the total that we paid to $368.67. So going by Price is Right rules, Deanna wins. Hey, Deanna, woo!
How much did we spend?
$368.67.
Okay.
So Rich and Sue were pretty close,
Yeah, I
but
thought
you
theirs
went
was
over.
361. That's
Yeah.
where I was gonna like
Yep.
call an audible. All right, I'm gonna try to take the dog.
Okay, okay. I would carry her over.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm definitely planning on. So I'm gonna mute y'all.
Congratulations to Deanna.
Don't sing or dance until I get back.
Okay.
Dee. Come here.
Yeah, Vivian, it's definitely had a population explosion there in Vegas. We try to do curbside pickup as much as possible. The only thing we usually go in for is like if we want to pick our steaks or something, or if something's been continuously reported as being out of stock on curbside, because a lot of times if it's something special, then we'll know right, or Lynn will know right where it is, and she'll go right to it, and it'll be there, even though they've reported it out of stock. So, yeah. Ah, leaving on Tuesday. Good to hear, Augusto. I knew it was coming up real soon.
Head south toward Fort Grant Road.
Deanna, you're most welcome, but I fear the payoff is not worth the cost of admission, but you know.
What's happening?
She said first time ever winning something.
Yeah, remember, you get what you pay for. So are you gonna sing or dance or? I think if you dance, you should go outside to the front camera so they get a good view.
Oh yeah, of course. So will everybody else.
That's fine. Do. Would you like a coffee?
Yes, please. That would be great.
Or a coffee flavored almond milk? There were some of the things that they don't have easily found in Douglas, Arizona, or Silver City, New Mexico. So I had to fill up the pantries with like my favorite tea, Michael's favorite coffee. I was gonna fill up the freezer with samosas, but ran out of time.
I think I will sing. I've got a little jingle running through my head.
You're not gonna do it outside?
No.
Ah.
I'm not gonna dance too. You get one or the other. It can't be both.
All right. Well, let me get it. Let me wait for me to get up there.
Yep.
I want front row seat.
Have 80 miles left. Says 1 hour 11 minutes. We should arrive by local time 2:20 p.m. We will lose an hour crossing the border here, so the time on the clock here it's actually 1:10 p.m. there. Let me see if I can adjust that while I'm sitting here. Why not?
Gotta put everything in the little cubby holes so they don't bounce around. Alright. Basically, since we bought the June oven, our microwave is just storage. Unless I make popcorn. There you go, honey.
Okay.
Pizza. Alright. I think I'll have you pick up some paper towels at the Mercantile because these are...
Okay.
I definitely don't want to drive all the way to Douglas to get paper towels. Unless we need to go down there to get wood.
Yep.
Or something.
Aw, I adjusted the time zone, but it didn't change the clock on here.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Okay, so we ready for the sing along for the sing?
I guess.
What are you?
The sun is...
Oh. Are you ready, Deanna? Thank you for playing our little fuel game. The price was high. Deanna, Deanna. I never thought that traveling the country could ever cost so much. Deanna. That's all I got.
Yeah, now we own royalties. We owe...
No, I didn't play. It was just a little ditty.
Yeah, just a little ditty. That was very good. That was awesome. Huh?
I'm glad you think so.
Yeah, you're good at that.
Let me see if I can exit this and get it to reconnect and get the right time on the clock. All I want to do is wake up in the morning and hit the road. Deanna, Deanna.
No, I want to wake up in the morning and hit the road. You want to wake up in the morning, check the internet, set up the laptop,
have some breakfast,
take a long shower.
Yeah, that's probably more. You're most welcome, Deanna. Thank you for playing along. I got the song stuck in my head now. almost ready to get back on the road. I guess we could technically head out now. I can drink this while driving.
And it is paper cup, so.
Yep. Oh, this was back online. Not connected.
Did you break the internet?
No, the little app that connects over to the doohickey to give us the gauges. Disconnecting. Connecting. Connected. Authenticating. I don't know why I'm saying this stuff out loud. Oh, there we go.
You're narrating.
Yeah, I mean, they could see it though. They could see what it was doing. So we got the fuel populated. The DEF hasn't kicked in yet. Oil pressure hasn't kicked in yet. But at the right, they got the right time now. Oil pressure, good. Still no DEF level. About 70% on DEF. Oh well, I guess the DEF level won't be showing up. That's okay. It's not terribly exciting to watch anyway.
That had to be a butt puckering moment.
Oh yeah, when it, well, I can share a similar,
Turn left onto Fort Grant Road.
if not.
Bye, Rich and Sue. See you next time. Thanks for joining.
See you later.
I don't know why I'm yelling. The mic's right above me. Like I'm yelling to get to y'all on the internet. Okay. All right. Similar story.
If not a little more potentially catastrophic, maybe, I don't know. Could go either way. The time I slid the truck off into the ditch.
Oh, yeah.
I was parked on the shoulder and wanted to move. It was night. I needed to move over a little bit more so that people blasting through, because it was just after a curve, had a better chance of not colliding with me. And it was dark, and the curb, like the shoulder ahead and the shoulder behind that I could see, had plenty of space. So I pulled up, and then actually I backed up and then pulled up.
Take the next left onto Fort Grant Road.
And when I pulled up,
Got a few cars.
yeah, when I pulled up, it felt like I got into some soft ground, like just squishy or whatever. So I put it in four-wheel drive, thinking that that's what I needed, and crawled forward just a little bit more. And all of a sudden, the whole truck went down on its side.
Okay, you're clear enough to go now.
Danke. Turned out there was a culvert through under the road right beside where I was that I did not see.
In a quarter mile,
And
turn left onto the ramp to I-10 East.
when I pulled up, I dropped the whole truck off into the hole where the culvert was. And that was with a Ram 3500. Thankfully, it wasn't dual rear wheel. It was a single wheel. Otherwise, it probably would have been a lot worse. But
And I was outside of the truck, helpless, because all I could see was darkness. I thought, you know, I didn't think there was a culvert there either.
yep.
Just saw the truck.
And let me tell you, truck doors are exceptionally heavy when you have to push their entire weight up. So that was fun. The tow truck driver that came and hooked up to us to pull us out, he didn't know if he was going to be able to do it, because the 3500 weighed almost as much as his tow truck did, so he didn't know if he was going to be able to winch it out or not. David and Brenda do whoop whoops. Yeah, we'll let them keep that one. We'll just sing. Got to have some differentiator between us and David and Brenda.
God, I hope so.
Turn left onto the ramp to I-10 East.
They've got 20 plus thousand followers, and I don't have the energy to be that polished.
Continue
Lay
on
down, baby
I-10
girl.
East for 56 miles.
Lay down. Although, how long they've been doing their blog for 9 years, 8 years?
Yeah, somewhere nine or so.
We're still winging it. I think we'll always be winging it, though. That's
Yep.
you're giving Daddy the sad eyes. Nope, she stood up too soon.
So you gotta be quick, Mom.
Yeah. I was trying to get the background clear without the trucks and
Oh.
less things I'd have to remove in post.
Sure, I guess.
I'm gonna guess they're together.
Seems that way.
If they're not careful, they're about to be.
Danke.
Bitte.
The Enterprise truck, they had a handwritten sign on the side of the door that said Camelback moving, so.
Oh. Yeah, that's unsafe driving. If I remember correctly, heading through Granite Gap and all that, our internet held out pretty good last time.
I think it dropping like coming right around the corner of Granite Gap. Right before you drop down into
Yeah.
the valley. But we shall see. Maybe it's different now. Maybe they threw up a new tower or cranked up some more power on it or something.
I missed out on the Migration Taco Weekend specials.
Okay.
The food truck that's down in Rodeo,
Mm-hmm.
they had the samosa tacos that I was telling you about yesterday, and so
Okay.
yeah, it's a new vegan food truck. I think they moved from Denver to this area. So
In Rodeo, New Mexico, a
Rodeo,
vegan
New
food
Mexico.
truck.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of good hippie population over in the Portal area. I guess they.
I guess it's doing well.
Yeah,
It's-
that's good.
and it's a food truck, so they can go to different events and do things.
Yep.
But yeah, the menu is drool worthy almost every time I read it.
Nice. Whew.
Oh. I meant to put some lotion on when I went back there. My hands are a little dry.
It puts the lotion on the skin.
It does.
Oh, that was another TV show we tried to watch. The continuation from Silence of the Lambs with Clarice.
Oh yeah, Starling or Claire. I can't remember if it was Clarice or Starling what the name was.
Yeah.
You?
No. It was all right. It wasn't like amazing,
No, her accent drove me crazy though.
Oh, yeah. The fake Southern.
Yeah, fake West Virginia. I find when actors try to nail it, they ruin it. So if you just get close enough, then
Right.
you know,
Don't work too hard.
Right, you can write it off as West Virginia by way of Baltimore kind of thing, or
Right.
Baltimore by way of West Virginia.
There was a guy I worked with at NetApp that was born and raised in like the Carolinas, Georgia area, then moved to Britain, lived there for however many years, and then came back and started to work at NetApp. And it was an extremely odd Southern U.S. redneck British mix.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was really tough to.
And what really would throw me for a loop was he would say British terms
Yes.
with a Southern accent.
Yes.
Like aluminium. It just,
Or yeah, it, I
there
don't
was
know
something
that,
in I don't know if
yeah.
it was that one, you know, but there was something there that.
And I'm not saying that like
No. It
he was bad for doing it or
Oh,
anything.
no.
It was just odd on the ear. Like,
Yeah.
you know, British accent, you got that. Southern accent, you got that. But put them both together and like, wait a minute.
Well, I have that problem. I pick up accents wherever I go,
Yeah.
and every once in a while my Appalachian comes sliding right back on in. You want some gummies?
No, I'm all right. That coffee topped me up pretty good.
These are actually pretty tasty. Lily's Less Sugar Sweet Life.
Cool.
They're better than that. Oh, I cannot remember the brand name. Smart Sweets. Oh, those things are nasty. I'm not really a fan of stevia though, which has that weird aftertaste.
Can you read off Deanna's?
I watched a review of the campsite that y'all stay in Las Vegas. I'm wondering if you're going to get a lot more people coming to stay there because of the review.
Was it
LV,
a two-part review, like the guy riding around talking about buying a site there, or was it something different? I'm just curious which one you saw, Deanna.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
Andrew Steele.
Andrew Steele, thank you. Was it Andrew Steele?
There's last month they had, I can't remember if it was 15 or 19 lot sales.
19, I think.
19 lot
Yeah.
sales.
Which is pretty good. Over the summer, they only had like 3 or 4 total
Yeah.
over the whole summer. So,
Yeah. Well,
Um,
and now the Oakland Raiders are
Yes.
now the Vegas Raiders, and that stadium is open. And then you've got hockey, just the Strip, all of the other shows, an influx of people moving from California. And if they have a motor coach, I've seen a couple that have just bought the site, sold
Yep.
everything, and now they're making their next move. So it stays pretty full.
yeah, summertime isn't very popular just because of the heat, but
Yeah.
the wintertime it definitely packs up.
But you get a little evaporative cooler going, and it's
Oh, yeah.
pretty comfortable.
Yeah, we did pretty good with it. I was surprised at how well the one inside did this year.
Yeah.
Historically, we've had one sitting outside that pumped air in, but it was sitting in New Mexico, not Las Vegas.
Yeah. So now we have 2.
Yep. And we don't need either of them.
Well,
Oh, somebody lost their clothes.
There's an object on road ahead.
Nope, not on the road, but close.
we were on our way from El Paso to Virginia to visit family when I was in junior high. And we were in a Ford LTD, canary yellow. Oh, God, my dad's taste in vehicle colors. But the trunk was full. It was my mom, my dad, my nana, and me. So the trunk was full as well. We had the rooftop carrier.
Holy
and
crap, and that thing has a huge trunk. Like you
I
can
know.
fit 3 bodies in there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So the rooftop carrier in Alabama came loose, and the suitcase came flying off, and Yeah, it came flying open. The only thing that we couldn't find was a set of my dad's teeth. He had 2 teeth missing, and they had like a wire, so it was like a retainer with the 2 teeth. One of those and a deck of cards, but everything else was strapped in because it was one of those old-timey suitcases where you had like the elastic that held everything. And
Somewhere there's a kangaroo mouse scaring the hell out of his buddies, like with the teeth.
well, Dad joked that at some point there would probably be like a car or a trucker that had a flat tire and go to get it fixed, and there's 2 teeth. He was like, "Who did you hit?"
Right.
The mystery continues.
That's awesome.
But my mom was out like dodging traffic like Frogger, trying to grab everything, and my dad's just yelling, "Leave it, leave it."
Yeah, Deanna, I don't. Andrew Steele's shtick isn't for me, and I don't really like how he built his follower base. But that's just me. But anyway, I'm curious if you don't mind sharing the name of the channel that you saw the review on. I'd love to watch it. And Deanna, if you go to, well, you're on our YouTube channel, evidently, clearly. We did a little video tour of our site, or I did. So you can look in like 5 or 6 videos back or something, I don't know, and see that walkthrough.
I think the thing that I really like about the resort, and there are things that I don't like, but it's personal
Especially
preference.
now, yeah.
It's personal preference, so I'm going to leave that alone. But the thing that I like is that there's a variation of sites. So if you lease, you can ask, if you're there renting, you can ask for with a build out, without a build out, those kind of things. But if you want to buy, there's also your plain site where you can do what you want. You don't have any permanent build outs or anything like that.
There's somewhat improved sites like ours where we did pavers. We took out the grass and put in pavers and artificial turf and electrical around the perimeter and stuff. And then there's full build outs or whatever you want to do.
There's a couple in one of the older sections that they're full on like condos with RV parking. They're grandfathered in. You can't do that anymore for the building. What is it? Landscape architecture.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a little bit of everything. That and everything you would possibly need or want, Vegas has.
Yeah.
Other than a dark sky.
Generally, it's usually really close to where you are. Like we could, within 10 minutes, we could be at just about anything we would ever need.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely they do not have dark skies.
No dark skies. I was telling at my doctor's appointment, the doctor, he was like, "Well, why would you go to the middle of nowhere kind of thing?" And I said, "I see more vehicles in a 5-minute drive to get groceries than I do in 2 weeks worth of driving where we go." That's why I go there. It's
well, that
like
and the dark skies.
Oh yeah, dark skies, but just the decompression, the lack of traffic noise, airplane noise, night pollution. I saw this article on one of the night sky preservation groups. I think it was We Own the Night. They're pushing back on the term light pollution because because light is the pollutant. So when you consider air pollution, you don't call it smog pollution because it's smog.
Right.
So it's there were like a list of 10 different things, but the very last one was night pollution.
Yeah.
And
I've heard it called something about like loss of the night sky.
Yeah.
And I'm actually I made the mistake of flipping over to the light pollution map last night, and technically where the shed is going is a class 2 on the Bortle scale, not a class 1.
Because you get Lordsburg and the flatter area, probably.
And it's closer to the interstate and whatever else.
Well, I mean, if Chuck can get stuff out of Detroit.
Oh yeah, it's not, by no means it's not bad, but it's just ever so slightly brighter.
You, Me, and the RV is the name of the channel.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've seen them before. I don't think I've subbed to their channel, but I've definitely not seen their review of the LVM resort. But if it's who I'm thinking of, it's a retired military guy and his wife. Most of the stuff I've seen of theirs, they were in like the southeast. If that's the one I'm thinking of. I think they hit New Orleans. Okay, nope, that was a bad idea.
Well, a few weeks ago they were somewhere with a bear, or was that somebody else's video? Oh, a month ago. Their Jeep windows knocked out and the sign says Bear 1, Jeep 0.
Dang. Is it the husband? He's like a fairly stout-built looking,
Gray-haired gentleman.
yeah,
Yeah.
like buzz cut.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah, I think that's. the
Yeah,
one I'm
yeah,
thinking
he
of.
looks like a Marine. He's got a shirt
Yep.
on that says Salty.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Marine or Army, but he's retired military. They do a lot of what are the military campgrounds called?
Oh, it looks like they were in Vegas about a month ago.
Oh, so we'd have been there too.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll check that out when we get stopped. And
Yep.
thank you for the heads up.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know, Deanna.
The other place that's, if you don't have a Class A and you want to come to Vegas, the other place we recommend is Oasis, which is right on the other side of Interstate 15.
Yeah,
So when
on
you're
the same off the same road,
Yeah.
Blue Diamond Road.
Blue Diamond Windmill, I think, if you're coming.
Yeah, maybe
Does it say
Windmill
Blue-
on.
I can't remember if it says Blue Diamond when you're coming from Los Angeles or Windmill.
I think it does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At
Anyway,
the Silverton. This whatever exit the Silverton Hotel is at. That's,
Yep.
Yeah.
it's nice. They have two pools. One is an adult pool, not like topless or anything, but it's salt water with sand.
Yeah, it's got like a
Beach.
nice beach type
Yeah.
of. So you walk through the sand to get into the water and then go to the deep end. But
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
it has smaller, shorter sites for travel trailers or smaller rigs that have grass and really good shade trees that aren't drooping over. They take really good care of the whole place. But if you have a long coach like us, it's
They do
either-
have double sites in the
They
back.
have double sites at the back, but it's not a whole lot of green scape or anything. But
Which is fine. I'd rather not have the sprinkler system.
right,
The only downside on Oasis, it's okay. Historically, it's much less personalized service than what you get at LVM, like personality and personable
Yeah.
interaction, and the spaces are tighter together. So you've got enough room for your slides and your awning, but not a ton more than that.
yeah. And there's not any kind of privacy divider, and most of the sites at LVM have
Right.
some sort of build out or shrubbery or something that gives you,
Yep.
even if you can see the coach next to you, it gives you some sort of sense of
Like a
line.
break,
This is
yeah.
my spot, that's your spot. And it
Not
also,
all of them, but most of them.
right. It also, none of the sites are walk-through. They're all back to back, so there's no quick access to cut through somebody's site.
At LVM.
At LVM, yeah.
Yeah. So you get basically no people walking through sites.
Yeah. Which is,
It's kind of a pet peeve.
it is a pet peeve.
'Cause
It's very rude.
It-
Especially if there's
Yeah.
someone on that site and you're
Oh,
walking
yeah.
through to cut through. That's beyond to me. That
We've had people ride bicycles right through between our site and the one next to us at some
Yeah.
campgrounds. And there's no specific rule in a lot of parks that say anything about it. Some of them do,
it's
but
just courtesy.
it's just courtesy, yeah. Sam's Town RV there in Vegas. We've not.
No,
we have stayed at
It was just north of that, wasn't it?
yeah,
where we
just
did
north
say?
on
Boulder Highway.
Boulder Highway. Thank you. Las Vegas RV Resort. So we've stayed there, and then just south of that's the Sam's Town KOA, and then there's another KOA or something.
There's quite
just
a
little
few
bit
down on Boulder, but
Yep.
they're older, so they're historically smaller coach spaces.
Oriented.
They would, I guess, they would expand, but they got built up around and.
Yep. And we did stay there. The Las Vegas RV Resort. We've stayed there a couple of times.
Yeah, I think on our third time is when we decided no more.
Yep. And that was only not because of the park itself, but
no,
where it was. Some idiot drunk out on Boulder Highway fired a gun, and the bullet went through the tail end of somebody's fifth wheel that was on the site that we'd stayed on before, that we asked for this time, but it was already booked. So I was walking the dog over there, and it was like 6:30 in the morning. And there were a couple of people standing around talking, looking at the tail end of this fifth wheel. I was like, well, what's going on? So they explained it to me. And that day, we looked out around and found the LVM resort.
Yeah, we went to Boulder City and looked at a couple places, and I think, and stuff happens.
Oh yeah,
no matter where you go, stuff happens. But the gentleman with the fifth wheel was shaken up, and
he had just been in that section.
Yeah, and just walked away and heard the pop and the glass shatter. And the fact that when we would have been parked there, our headboard, the bullet would have come right through our headboard. So, and given that Boulder Highway, it's a cheaper hotel / hostel kind of, not hostel as in angry, but hostel as in cheap room and board.
Yeah.
So a lot of tourists just come in, and it
just generally speaking, it's a higher crime area of Vegas. Hey, Red Jag, good to see you too, buddy. Thanks for joining us today. Hey, the def started indicating 66%.
Woohoo! I hope Mary's doing well and has plenty of spoons. What is wrong with you? You shaky puppy? We are starting to look more into New Mexico to find a secondary home base, so it's an either or kind of situation.
Something northern New Mexico or a higher elevation, so it's
get a little bit of a snap and cooler weather.
Not blowing blizzards or anything, but also not 100 degrees in the summertime.
Yeah.
Does Taos get a lot of snow?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
In the wintertime, yeah. It's a ski resort area.
Oh, wow. So like up around the Santa Fe area, right? It's one of the areas we're looking.
It still gets cold, but yeah. Borneo is where we stayed last time. And
what's that?
Borneo, where Stagecoach is, where we stayed there.
Oh, I thought it was just North Albuquerque. I didn't realize it had I didn't remember that it had a different
its own little thing.
name. I guess technically where we are in Las Vegas, it's Las Vegas, but it's Enterprise.
Yeah.
Like the city is not Enterprise, but the area is called Enterprise.
Yeah, there's a definite gap in, it's not complete sprawl yet. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Herbie, I'd not heard of all the shootings. I hope everybody's safe. I try not to follow the news. It's depressing.
Yeah, it's way too depressing. And they always seem to dwell on all the negative stuff.
Yeah.
Life's too short to be negative all the time, so we're trying to...
I'm trying with that. I really am, but I just...
trying to work on our sanity.
Yeah. I had a lady at the RV resort, bumped into her at the mail, picking up mail, and she's like, I haven't seen you since you've been back. Where have you been? And it's like, I'm a hermit. She's all bubbly and, good on her.
Super nice person.
Yeah, super nice, yeah, but she's just bubbly, and she's like, why? People are a disappointment. And she just kind of blinked and walked away. So, yeah.
We had a good chat with her out when we were out for a walk a couple of nights before we left. Her husband.
I cannot remember her husband's name.
Me either.
Yeah. John a blank.
Yep. They were going someplace up in Utah for a couple of days.
Yeah, they have a cabin in the woods.
Ooh. Cabin in the woods, yeah. Just a little
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead.
Oh, I missed that
The
show.
musical.
That was such a good show.
Yeah.
I think we saw it probably 20 plus times.
Oh man, yeah, I would say so.
We saw it so many times that a couple of after like we were leaving, Chris, who was the main actor for Ash,
Big bump.
the Bruce Campbell character, he'd say, "Oh, you guys been out of town? We haven't seen you in a couple weeks."
Yeah. We went to some after show parties a time or two.
a Walking Dead
Yeah.
premiere thing. And, yeah.
That was good fun.
Yeah, a lot of talent.
Yes. Nice pre-COVID experiences.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it went off the.
Oh yeah,
off
it was
that,
gone
yeah, it
before
was-
COVID. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, really the biggest one that stopped and won't come back after COVID is La Rev. Yeah, that's too bad. That was a really good show. Of course, it had gone on for many, many years, so
Yeah.
I'm sure
But-
they'll find something else to put in the theater there and make use of that space.
But still, I mean, all of those actors and their
Yep.
staff and all the money and effort and time to set up all the stunt work and just.
Well, like again, I'm sure something will be put in.
Yeah.
Another show will
Well, I
happen
just
that makes
mean
use
like
of all
the
those
tragedy that everybody, so many people lost their jobs and their
Yep.
because. Yeah. I think we saw that one 4 times.
People. Sounds right.
Actually, 5 times.
Really?
Yeah, I think it
So
was.
no, we did once, and then we took Andy and Ryan,
And then I
then
think
we took Mom.
JJ and Sarah, I think.
I don't know. I don't
You
think
don't
we
think
went
so?
with JJ and
I
Sarah.
thought we did. Okay, so 4 times at Absolute.
Yeah. So Mom and Stephanie and Anthony, and then last time we took Mitchell and Ashley.
Herbie wants to know, late to your travels, how's the coach running?
It's doing great, buddy. The rebuilt gearbox is doing well. I was able to, with the help of Tiffin, troubleshoot and figure out what was going on with our dash AC, why it wasn't working. Turned out there's a little relay, cost about $16 at Napa, that needed to be replaced behind the dash. So everything is going really well. And Herbie, I don't think you were on earlier when we talked about the fiasco that we ran into when we left Gary, Indiana. The very first night after Gary, we booked at a campground because we needed to top up our water and dump tanks and all that stuff. And you know, we're always very upfront about our size and what we need and all that kind of stuff. And they, no warnings, no cautions, anything. Absolutely, come on in. You know, we got you a site long enough, no big deal, everything's good. So we get in there about 9:30 at night, and unfortunately, we couldn't see well enough to see what we were getting into before we were in the thick of it. And by thick of it, I mean they hadn't trimmed their trees back in over a year and a half. So we got loads of scrapes down the driver's side of the coach and down the driver's side of the car hauler. When I talked to them the next morning, they acted shocked that it could happen and blamed my driving ability. And then it finally admitted that they hadn't trimmed their trees in over a year. And when they told me the date, it had actually been closer to a year and a half. And then the owner came out to look at the scratches and accused me of lying that couldn't possibly have happened at his park. I let him know that I had video of the drive-through, so you know there was no reason for me to lie about it, and I could certainly prove that it happened there. And I walked him around the park and showed him the trees and bushes that scratched, and you could see actually the first tree that got into us, you could see snapped off little twigs on the edges of the limbs, and it was old breakage. It wasn't from my coach, so you could tell that other people's coaches or fifth wheels or whatever had hit into it before. He tried to pass that off as wind damage, but wind damage doesn't break little tiny twigs right next to the leaf. But anyway, it took a month and a half of calling to finally convince them I was dead serious about getting this covered. And then 30 minutes after they hung up on me, their insurance called me So between the coach getting it buffed out is roughly around $4,400, and then getting the car hauler wrapped, because it's an anodized aluminum finish, so you can't buff it and you can't paint it, so you have to wrap it if you want to fix the visual appearance. So getting the car hauler wrapped in vinyl all the way around to make sure that it was an even appearance was another $4,100, $4,200, somewhere in that ballpark. But so I sent the insurance company 50 pictures and 3 videos, and I annotated the timestamps in the videos to show where we were moving and what we were doing, and that we couldn't have done anything different to have prevented the damage. And also screenshots of 3 reviews where other people in the last 6 months had told them that they too received damage to their RV, and they got the same treatment I did. They were first blamed, and then they apologized and said that they hadn't had their trees trimmed in a long time. So,
but never once offered to cover any damages.
No. Nobody ever said anything about getting damages covered.
I will say they did comp our stay.
Right. They wouldn't let me pay for the stay. I wanted to pay for it because if it were just a loud neighbor or something and they wanted to comp the stay, okay, fine. But for something that is like extensive damage, I was not. I wanted to pay for it and then get them to pay for my stuff. Anyway, within 30 minutes of the insurance company getting all of those photos and videos, they replied back and accepted the responsibility and asked for the estimates. Yeah, Vivian, I was very happy to have the video and pictures and everything. So yeah, we're still waiting on that check, $8,600 check coming in the mail. So we're just waiting for that to hit before we put up a blog post and write some reviews for this place. The car hauler got wrapped right before we left Las Vegas, but the detail shop doesn't have enough time, or didn't have enough time before we left to do the coach. So we're having the coach compound sanded and then buffed out when we get back to Vegas in December. It was also funny when I was doing the walkthrough with the owner to show him what trees got me. There was a fifth wheel that was parked, and we walked past, and the guy that was the owner of the fifth wheel was standing out there, and as we walked past, he said, "Oh, did the trees get your rig too?" So it was more damning, to the owner, like, yeah, you really should do something about this. Maybe the insurance company will push back on them to make sure it's taken care of.
I would think for the amount of evidence that you showed them, there certainly has to be some sort of pushback.
I would
even
hope
if
so.
it's we're dropping you.
Yes.
Like,
especially since they had been warned multiple times before by other RVers and had not taken any action. That is, to me, unconscionable.
It was just a whole shady experience.
Yep.
It just...
Yep. Yeah, exactly right, Jag. They will lie, and I told the owner specifically when he accused me of lying that it couldn't have happened to his park. I said, number one, I'm nothing without my integrity. So there's nothing for me to gain by lying to you about this. And I said, number two, I have video evidence. And number three, I don't expect you to do the right thing. I said, I have no expectation of people owning up to their mistakes and doing the right thing. And I said, and history has proven me to be correct in that theory. So yeah, I told him the same thing. Like, I don't expect you to do the right thing. And clearly they were trying not to. You know, a month and a half to get a call back from their insurance. They were trying to run the clock out and just make it frustrating for me so that I give up.
I just thought of something we should include in the review.
Okay.
Just to help other people if this may. The names of the owners of the park.
Yeah. That was the other thing, right, Jag? Every time I called, I asked to talk to the owner or asked to get and they said, oh no, he has your number, they'll give you a call back. So I asked for the owner's name, like just the name, and then I was going to ask for the phone number, but the lady wouldn't even give me the owner's name. And the person I was talking to sounded exactly like the person who was extremely dismissive while I was in the office, and I think she was the owner's wife or co-owner, however you want to look at it. And so I called her out on it on that last phone call. I said, I think you're the owner. I think you're the owner's wife. Oh no, you know, no, I don't own anything. Like, yeah, I think you were there and being dismissive and cracking jokes about, like, ask where we were heading. And I said Las Vegas, and she's like, oh, well, you won't have any problem with trees in Las Vegas, ha ha ha. I'm like, I have thousands of dollars worth of damage to my coach, and you're cracking jokes about the tree population in Las Vegas?
And clearly you've never been to Las Vegas because everybody from the Midwest plants a flippin' tree.
Yeah, anyway. So it was a disappointing experience.
Yeah. Well, and the last time he spoke with the office, it was, can I get their name? I'd like their name.
Yes.
Look, this is a legal matter, and it's, you know, we need the name. And they hung up.
Yeah, they literally hung up on me.
And that's when the insurance called him. So he doesn't think the insurance was involved until that moment after.
Yeah, I think they started, when I said it's a legal matter and there's, you know, thousands of dollars worth of damage, I think that's when somebody finally said, okay, I guess he's not going to give up. Oh, and we're losing signal. That place did a look around maintaining their property on trees and such could have been avoided. Absolutely, Vivian. It easily could have been avoided. And actually, when I went into the office the next morning, I didn't go in asking them to pay for anything or asking to not pay for my site. I went in and my first words were, hey, I'd like to ask a favor. Please, when big rigs try to make reservations, don't accept the reservation until you get your trees trimmed. That was my ask. Like, I wasn't being a dick about it. I was trying to say, look, this is damaging, you know, and some people care about their RVs and don't want this stuff to happen. You know, at least give a warning that the trees are encroaching into the roadway, and you know, if you're that big, you could incur some scrapes or something. Like, be upfront about it. And I said, if you had told us that, we would have gone someplace else. We would not have stayed here. I
think we should do a blog post or a video and get other RVers input. Like, what is a pet peeve of yours that RV parks say and do in their advertisement or their amenities? Like, big rig friendly up to 36 feet is not big rig friendly.
No, that used to be.
Yeah, maybe back in, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But big rig friendly to me is 40 feet to say 100 feet, because some people have needs. Yeah, it just.
And in our 14 years of RVing, we've really only had 2 really bad experiences.
And they were in the last year.
And they were both in the last year, yeah, which is shocking.
Telling, I think,
Yeah.
for the whole
I think
shift
so, too.
of everything.
Yeah, this one and then the one in Fredericksburg.
Oh, yeah.
That was in, what, November? Yeah.
Yeah, that one gets my red up just thinking about it. It's a flat out lie.
Well, and this
then-
place that we got the scratches at, the lady said, oh, well, we've been trying to get a tree service out here to trim the trees, and you know how hard it is in the Midwest to get a tree service out? I'm like, well, you don't have anybody on staff that can run a chainsaw and a ladder like that? It's not like you're
It seems
taking
if you're going to
down-
own a business like that, you should be at least a
Yes.
jack of all trades or have a handyman on site.
Yes.
Like,
It wasn't like they needed to, fall like 50 trees that are tucked in close between RVs or something. I mean, it would have been an easy fix. Anyway, so we are 27 miles from our stop at Rusty's RV Ranch. We are 3.5 miles to the exit. And yeah, then we'll be there. And we will have spotty connectivity on New Mexico 80 going down towards Rusty's. Especially through Granite Gap, it'll drop out and it probably won't pick up again until we get closer to Rusty's. And we're going to be doing it a little different when we get there. I'm going to be using the car hauler and moving it back and forth between the current site of the Astro Shed and the new site of the Astro Shed. And I'm going to be using the car hauler as a workspace for tool storage and materials and stuff like that. So when we get to Rusty's, I'm actually going to stop and unload the X and then drop the trailer, then park the coach and hook up to the car hauler with the X and move it out to the observatory so I can use it to load astronomy gear and stuff like that in. So it's going to be a little bit of a different parking process. So yeah, let's see here. We got some more comments.
And Vivian said she can't stand dishonest people. People like that need to own up to their mistake and stop
Yes.
avoiding this. Yeah, I think if you just say, I was unaware, or I am sorry about that, just not, oh, well, I don't think that happened here. Yeah.
And I mean no disrespect to people named Karen, but if you know the internet meme Karen title, this lady fit it to a T. Like, it was unbelievable. Anyway.
She was like Karen squared.
Yeah.
And Herbie says big rig friendly is a joke. It is.
Yeah.
It is mind numbing what people get.
Herbie said something above Vivian.
Because of greed and so many newbies that these RV parks want to take advantage of. That is certainly true.
Yeah. And don't get us wrong, there are still good parks out there. There are still good people and park owners, and there's still good experiences to be had RVing. It's just tougher to find.
In half a mile, take exit 5 for New Mexico 80 South Toward Road.
Half a mile to our exit. Agua Prieta, Mex?
Yep.
What is that?
The town right out on the other side of the border in Douglas.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Claudio's aunt's from there.
Nice.
Agua Prieta.
Oh, okay. Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah, Mexico.
I was thinking like,
Tex-Mex food.
yeah, something. I didn't know
Yeah.
exactly what they were. But yes, of course, we are
Yeah,
at
we're
this point 60 miles north of the border.
South for 24 miles.
$3.19 for diesel. What? We could have got $10 cents off.
Yeah, that would have actually added up quite a bit.
Yeah. This is they refurbished.
Yeah, that's new.
This was abandoned for about 25 years. And they came
Conserve
in and-
fuel. Stop. That's an interesting dichotomous name for a truck stop.
Yeah, conserve fuel.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Red Jag, big rig friendly is definitely a joke. We really should put together a database of all the
Actual
parks that we've
big-
talked to, all the parks that we've stayed at. If nothing else, just for our own reference. But we'll
Well, I
put it
mean, I
online.
have Google Maps set up with notations like this.
Okay.
These are campgrounds that we've stayed at and we would stay at again.
Yeah.
And then I have notations as to why,
Yep.
if it mattered.
Okay.
And then in the no camp, I try to put the notation like we wouldn't fit. Like I don't know
Right.
what the campground is like if we wouldn't fit in it.
Yep.
Or, we fit, but it was
No
an
storage
yeah. Or we fit, we went there and it was a nightmare.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, honestly, before this last year, the worst experience we'd had at an RV park was because they had fire ants. I mean, that you could have taken care of that,
yeah.
and they did. They sprayed
Well,
whatever.
the
but-
one in Kentucky where the new owner took over and it got 1,000% better, but that
Right.
one instance,
Yeah,
it was like something out of Deliverance.
yeah,
And so, but it was a proximity thing. We had to stay there to visit. So,
yeah,
but the new owner took over and it's amazing and we love it. And
yeah. It's way, way,
absolutely,
way better.
If you're anywhere,
And actually, it's she knew,
the former owner.
yeah, the former owner, and she told them, like, why would you keep your park like this? Why would you run it this way?
Yeah.
She's like, I would never bring a family here. Like, it's not safe. It doesn't feel comfortable for that type of environment. And the previous owner just laughed. Like, he didn't try to deny it. And evidently, like, people coming in, he'd hand them a beer on the way in or something.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know that I'd do that as a business owner. That seems
Nah.
Anyway.
But it is 1,000% better.
Yes,
and
much,
if
much
you're
better.
in Eastern Kentucky, Outpost RV Campground.
In Moorhead.
In
Don't
Moorhead.
stay there when we need to stay there because we need a spot.
Yeah. Especially if you're big rig. They've got some shorter things.
Yeah, they've got a lot of shorter sites and stuff, but they've got some nice long pull-throughs.
They have in the summertime. I don't know if they're going to do it this summer, or this coming summer, but they've had like food trucks come down
Yep.
and little mini concerts. A lot of outdoor, socially distanced stuff.
It is a family-friendly, family RV park,
Yeah.
right? So campfires and stuff like that, and but it's well run and they take care of their stuff.
Yeah. And if you have a problem and you bring it, I think her name is Mona.
Mona, yeah, is
and
the
you,
owner.
you bring it to her attention. If she hadn't already been working on it, she gets right on it.
Yep.
So, like when the breaker popped, I think, and
Well,
so,
yeah. So we find weak breakers.
everywhere we go.
Yeah, because I operate with the car charging and the coach running, all 3 ACs and the washer, dryer, dishwasher, all that stuff running. But I have the ability to limit how much power we draw from the pedestal, and I keep it at 40 amps or below. And the reason I do that is because regular breakers are only rated for constant load at 80% of their rated capacity. So 40 amps is 80% of the 50 amp breaker's capacity. So I operate right at that limit, and if it trips, then the breaker is weak, and I know, and I have graphs, and I can show and prove that I wasn't using more than what was supposed to be used for that period. So most of the time, if we go to a new site at a location, we find a weak breaker. And that happened this time in Outpost, but it was like 8:30 at night whenever it tripped. So I just went down to Lowe's and bought a breaker and came back and swapped it out. I'm not recommending most people do that. I have a lot of experience with electricity, and anyway. So the next morning, I went in and I just said, hey, in case you're tracking for maintenance, and knowing what's going on in the park, I'm on site, blah, 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 and I swapped out the 50 amp breaker because it tripped at 40. And I said, and actually I turned my current limit down to 35 and it still tripped. So here's the old breaker in case you need it for whatever reason. And Mona was like, oh, well, thank you. And she said, how much was the breaker? I was like, oh, $9 or $10 at Lowe's or something. No big deal. You know, I'm not looking for reimbursement. I just wanted you to know. And she said, "Oh man, I am going way too fast for this road." Sorry, it got away from me. And she's like, "Well, if you have a receipt, I'll pay for the breaker, and you know, thank you very much for taking care of it." And I said, "Well, actually, I do have the receipt in my pocket," so I handed it to her, and she handed me cash. She was very pleasant about it.
Yeah.
A lot of places would be a little pissed off if you swapped out their breaker, but she actually was so happy that she asked me if I would help cover for her maintenance guy who was going on vacation the next week. I'm like, "Yeah, you know where I'm at. If something comes up, just let me know."
Yeah, her daughter, Red Jag says he got a few scratches on his back panel from a tree in Cape May, New Jersey. Tiffin took care of it for me while we were there.
Nice.
Don't go to any of the campgrounds near the Jersey shores. All of them have trees growing into either the spots or the lane coming into the park.
Yeah, that's tough. So this is actually the road that goes out to where my observatory is going, by the way. So we just passed it. So we're now 16 miles away from Rusty's and may experience some cellular dropouts.
Nick is standing up.
Oh yeah? You're waiting for that view coming out of the Granite Gap?
Yeah, it is a little hazy, the wrong time of day, but yeah.
It'll still be good.
I start getting giddy when we're coming down past Wilcox, because when you look to the right, you can see this valley and you can see Portal Peak, and so.
You started to say something else, sorry.
Mona's daughter runs the website,
Yes.
and she's
social media.
Yeah, so
presence.
she's bringing it into the 21st century and has some like Airbnb style little pods and tiny homes, campground type things. So posh something, posh.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but yeah,
It's not the posh wash.
No, it's well rounded, and there's more things to do in Moorhead now than I really thought.
Yeah.
It's getting,
and around the surrounding area as well. Cave Run Lake is a really popular state park, and lake and campground and dam.
And there's still pockets of
small-mindedness. Yeah.
To put it nicely, but it's getting much better.
Yeah, the local coffee shop had a Gay Pride Day or something.
Yeah, well, they were selling shirts and I think cup mugs as well, and all of the money went to the LGBT Alliance there on campus, and they were hosting a Pride weekend event. So, yeah, that made me smile. I got Michael a shirt. It said, "Small town doesn't mean small mind."
Yep. All right, so that's Granite Gap up ahead. You can see cut in between the rocks, which means we'll probably lose signal. But if we have enough signal that you get to see the other side of the valley open up, it's really a nice view.
It is. Square mileage, it's as same from I-10 to just south of Rodeo, right into the Arizona border where it crops back. The square mileage of that is just maybe 100 square miles more than
the Las Vegas
Valley, but only like 1,000 families live in this valley.
Augusto, yes, I'm moving the observatory 16 miles up the road, trying to get some less wind so I can use the observatory more. And yeah, our internet has gone to crap. Woohoo!
We're home. I'm for sure going to come up here one morning at dawn and get the light on the canyon. Woo, can you slow down, please?
Yep, a little too late. Sorry. What is it?
Everything.
I don't know what that means.
My chair, table, drawers. I'm just going to...
Table?
Yeah, the little slide out wood table that I have.
Oh. Louis took a ride.
Louis.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
slow for that. I apologize.
I appreciate that. I'm gonna get up and make sure there's nothing spilled or.
Okay. Don't worry with the chair. I'll get it as soon as we stop at Rusty's.
I'm gonna go ahead and mute y'all.
Oh, they probably can't hear you, but yeah.
If you can hear me, thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Look okay? Looks like we got some data coming back. Oh yeah, and we're back online. So, hi, welcome back. I took a curve a little too quick back there, and one of our chairs slid out. You can see behind me. Louis was inside the carrier. We leave the carriers there, but leave them open, and the cats like to lay in them. I guess it gives them some comfort when the whole coach is moving down the highway. Yeah, so the chair slid out with Louis in the carrier in the chair, so he took a little ride. What's up?
The refrigerator's fine. The trash bin was way out, so you may have to check the.
Okay.
When I tried to push it back, it seemed like cattywampus. I don't know if the force of it caused the railing that it slides in and out of to be kind of damaged.
Did it close though?
No, I had to close it.
No, I mean, but.
Oh, it did, but it was just a.
Okay.
I had to like do this.
Okay.
And the drawers on the counter were slid all the way out.
Sorry about that. Yep. That was your wood table, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, earthquake inside the coach for sure, Augusto. I believe I see it. Man, I hope we're not all three going to Rusty's. I mean, not for her sake, I hope they are, but for our sake, we might go out and around, just park and.
I was trying to say, like, you can pull close to, like, there where storage is,
Yeah.
and then drop the trailer car out, and pull the coach in, and then
Yep.
you don't have to drop right in front of the office.
No, I wasn't planning on that anyway. But I'm just saying, like, if these two stop ahead of us and then have to wait to go get, but we may divert down the first road.
Right down the first road. Wave to Julia and Laura.
Yeah. Rusty is staying really quite booked. She has one person that's wanting to stay for 3 months after the first of the year, and right now she's got her moving like 5 times. So if we end up canceling our stay, that's going to help that lady out a lot. Herbie. Yeah, buddy. It's always hit and miss. Oh, this guy's turning here. That's unexpected.
Oh, he's just getting off the road.
That too is unexpected. Miles to Rusty's. When we get fairly close, I can actually see my observatory from the road, but I don't think it'll be able to be picked up on our camera feed, or if you can even see the camera feed. See the trees of Rusty's. Oh, I see what may be the shed. Yep, I see the shed now.